So you normally self-isolate, huh?
Hell yeah.
Not a bad thing.
No.
Besides me not going to work, I self-isolate anyway. But yeah, I'm not going to work anymore. So
I mean,
yeah.
in my whole township, we got 836 people.
That sounds like a nice place to be.
According to the 2010 census.
Well, you moved.
We've had a lot of people leave since then.
Well, you came in. You weren't there in 2010. You were in Germany or something.
No, I was there in 2010.
Oh, okay.
As far as I never left because see when I was over in Germany with the army, you're still considered at your home of residence being where it was. But it's all good.
I'm slow because I just woke up too.
Okay.
So I'm just my eyes are still closed and watering.
Are all of you under stay-at-home orders?
More or less.
Like I work at the airport, so I'm essential. I don't get a stay at home. They don't let me.
Nah, I'm not on essentials.
I'm retired, so I work my farm basically, technically agricultural because of the sugar bush, the maple syrup. And I think this weekend we're pulling our taps from the way the weather's looking. Won't be drawing anymore until next year.
Wow, that's sad.
So it's on to the next project. I stay busy.
I'm still waiting for them to do something crazy.
Them who?
The city, the airport, the government.
Oh,
just wait. They'll do something crazy.
Oh, I'm thinking about
Just need to
calling
wait.
I don't even know who to call, but to get a hold of the Army Corps of Engineers. No, I'd like to volunteer my airport, even though it's not mine to volunteer. But I have like almost no vehicles in all of my lots. It's a couple of football fields worth. We could set up a lot of triages and shit.
Tweet President Trump.
Oh yeah, here I go.
A lot.
I don't even have a Twitter. I don't do that. Facebook's already enough.
Yeah, I started. He's on.
What he tweeted, like, if this is what they're telling me he's tweeting on the news, what are they not telling me? So I signed up a Twitter account just to follow the president. I stopped reading it a while ago. I was just like, oh, whatever, just more crap. Most of it's no big deal, you know.
and we got like 6 inches of snow overnight.
You got a bunch of things. According to Facebook, you got a bunch of things going on up there in Saskatoon.
Well, I don't know. I just try to share stuff, yeah.
Well, just like I share stuff. I like seeing it because I say, well, I know Roland's up there. I got at least one friend I know that's over there. So I want to know if they're going to overrun them.
Did you guys at least see that one thing? Because, like I said, here in University of Saskatchewan, in Saskatoon, like I'm in Prince Albert, about an hour, 15 minutes north. But University of Saskatoon, they're just kind of what's it called? Like Canada's kind of looking at them.
Yeah.
Because this whole thing started, and they're like, we've been studying coronavirus for 40 years.
What?
Really?
Yeah, because do you know why? How did this whole thing start? Do you remember?
Yeah, the Chinese.
Thought it was in China.
Yeah, people eating animals, right? Well, our university, it has a big agricultural department, and the coronavirus affects animals normally. So the agricultural department has been studying coronavirus for 40 years.
Oh, that makes more sense.
So they've already gotten like whack loads of money from the government. There's already test trials for vaccines and stuff like that going on.
Yeah, Canada for the save.
Well,
it ain't there
Yay,
yet.
Canada.
yeah, not there yet, but it's just, yeah, when everybody was like, oh shit, this came out of nowhere down in Saskatoon, they're like, we've been like studying it for 40 years and no one has cared. And like, so now they're all, like, people are like, I don't know how much money they got, but they've gotten lots of money since this whole thing started. And there's already like test trials of vaccines and stuff going on.
But the big thing with the coronavirus is there's so many of them.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah.
Because
that's the problem with any virus, but
yeah, but you got SARS is a coronavirus.
Yeah, SARS, MARS.
Yeah, those are all coronavirus. And the worst thing is, and we're not learning from it. And I imagine they've been hollering about it if they've been studying it for 40 years. Is each version morphs a little bit more different in transmission method to severity and area that it attacks. So you would have thought that early on, for their credit on saying about, hey, we've been doing this, trying to figure it on out, you would have thought they would have found, really focused a cure on it before it got out to the 19th version.
Well, like I said, ag departments at the University of Saskatchewan, I bet you they have a budget of like $500,000. You know what I mean? Like,
which ain't nothing.
Yeah, like no one cares. Like,
named COVID-19 because it was discovered in 2019.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like coronaviral infectious disease or whatever it means.
Holy shit.
What?
I was just looking at something, and apparently there are 50 some odd thousand cases of coronavirus in Indiana right across our border. And we have like 450.
It's confirmed cases, man.
Yeah.
It's probably hundreds and thousands of people. Just no
well, we have 450. And they have like, where was that number again?
Versus how many people that have taken the test.
Each state is testing separately, though. So if they're doing hardcore tests,
yeah, because like, just saying, Indiana's got 50,000, and in Kentucky, as of yesterday, we had 450.
Because I recently saw that
every person they've seen in the past 14 days, they could have passed it on to someone times 50,000.
Yeah, I'm just saying we have 450 in Kentucky and they have 50,000 in Indiana. That's a huge discrepancy.
Like I said, it probably has to do with testing.
They're testing more than we are?
That's what I would say.
Mm-hmm. Like 450,000, like 10,000 times more?
Well, they probably got bigger populations in a more dense area.
I don't know if that much more significant population.
Not significant, but population density.
A lot of Indiana is fucking rural cornfields.
Like Oklahoma doesn't have any of the drive-through testing set up at all. I imagine some places that have them set up are getting tests popped out quicker to the point where they have to turn people away for the day.
They are significantly, the difference is significantly more. They have 6.6 million. We have 4.5 million. So they have about 50% more, like us plus 50%. So, comparatively, if you do that, we would have 675 cases. If it were just equal to equal based on their population difference, 675 cases, 450, that still doesn't equal 50 fucking thousand.
Well, I'm just trying to give ration and reason of why different numbers is all. Not knowing really the bare verifax them, but just a simple facial.
Yeah. Oh, well.
Go by Italy and multiply by like 6. Italy has what, 50, 60,000 or 60 million. We have 340, 50 million.
Yeah, something like that.
And if it's already spread across, all of New York and California the way it did, chances are it's already bled into the rest of the country.
That's a misnomer. It hasn't spread all over New York. New York City,
New York
Long
City.
Island. We
there,
up in my county up here, we got 20 as of this day, 23 confirmed cases and none that are sick yet, and no deaths.
Oh, well, we got 4 confirmed cases in my county.
And
Ooh.
my county is the largest county in New York State.
I think your confirmed cases are a bigger misnomer than anything. Confirmed cases means people have been tested.
Yeah.
A room full of 10 people and one person is tested positive. He's contagious to all 10 people.
Well, that's true, but the bottom line, you can only run with what you know. And if you only got so many tested, the only way you're going to have an honest and
Don't
true
go
number.
by the test, go by the rate of infection.
No, because you don't know how many, to get the rate of infection, you don't know how many started infected.
If it's possible to infect up to 4 people per person is infected, go by 1 person equals about 4 more.
No.
That's how you play it safe.
No, the bottom line, if you're going to play it safe and you want an actual true number and tested, is you would mandate everybody in your country, state, county be forced to be tested.
I don't like forced testing,
Leave that
bro.
to the president.
Well, I'm with you, Mike, but I'm just saying that's the only way to get a true number.
To allow? Yeah, sure. Allow. I'm sure if you allow anybody to they wanted to just
Right
then,
now,
yeah, you significant amount.
right
there would be
now,
very-
you are allowed to get tested. All you have to do is walk on into any facility here in New York State, anyways, and say,
Yeah,
I have these symptoms, and they'll test you.
They've been turning people away. You have to actually have showing multiple symptoms to get tested. And
Yeah.
in some places they make you pay for the test, up to $1,300.
But you so far as from my knowledge, anybody in New York State, if you feel that you are sick, ill, and
they'll
say
test
that,
you.
and
Well,
say
that's
that you have, and say that you have this symptom and that symptom, they will test you, and just basically trying to play it safe. So you are allowed, but the problem is you got people that have freedom of choice that won't listen to common sense, where you say stay 6 feet away, mass groupings, but yet you got people across the whole United States, especially in New York City, that aren't following that. Hey, let's have a block party
New
on
York
the
City.
basketball court.
Well, no,
That's just got arrested
New
in
York City,
Florida.
what you're going to get on the subway. I mean, what are you going to do? You're on the subway. Yeah. What are you going to do? You got to take the subway.
Well, yeah, but my point is this: if you give people a choice,
Yeah.
they're not going to always take the choice and do the right thing for the community. Sometimes, in rare occasions, you have to mandate, hey, you need to come in and get checked. It's a non-invasive check. Let's just get checked. And that's the only way to get true numbers. Now, am I advocating that they do the mandated testing? No, because I like my freedom. But
Well, I don't know how they could test fucking 330 million people. I just don't.
Well,
Yeah.
Probably at gunpoint.
One state at a time.
I mean, by the time you get it done, it would be like 2 years. Like, how the fuck do you?
Well, apparently gun shops are essential business.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Well,
Yeah,
this
that's
is
America.
they are essential business. You got to have bullets and a gun to go hunting to put food
According
on
to
the
our
table now.
Constitution, it is an essential business just because you have to have the right to buy something to defend yourself. But is
And
it
you
necessary right now? No, you can't shoot a fucking virus.
That depends on somebody's perception. Necessary. Somebody's like, I swear to God, eventually it's going to get to the point where I'm going to walk my dog to the park and stuff, and a cop's going to stop and say, hey, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm walking the park. And they're like, that's not essential. I was like, she thinks so. Yeah. So, define essential. I think it is essential. I think this is necessary. I need to walk my dog to the park every day.
Yeah. Sorry for being a downer, YouTube. We're talking about the virus all the time.
Well, it's the subject matter. I'm sure we'll get going. We just went off a tangent. Who hasn't?
On the
Nowadays?
good news, I got a copy of the episode 9, Rise of Skywalker, today. I haven't seen it yet. I'm finally going to see it. Was it decent? I mean, it couldn't have been as bad as The Last Jedi. That movie sucked. Was it better?
I quite
don't
like The
know.
Last Jedi, actually.
Oh,
And
no.
I thought the newest one pretty much put a great big halt on what the plan was after The Last Jedi, and went, you know what, let's just satisfy
There
the
was a
fans.
plan after The Last Jedi?
I imagine there was, yes, must have been. And so basically the last movie is just the producers panicking to the
Forget The Last
extreme
Jedi.
and pandering to pretty much every fan theory they could find. It's just serious fan pandering to the point where fans kind of, I hope, realised maybe they shouldn't have flipped out at the last movie.
It was horrible. It's all about the fuel. The fuel. For the love of God, fucking fuel. I never once heard Han and Chewie say, hey, let's gas up the Millennium Falcon before we go. Did you see, like, Empire Strikes Back where they're escaping from Hoth and the TIE fighters were on their tail and that was exciting. And it was a chase and they couldn't get away. And it was, oh, my God, this was going on. It was so great and so exciting. And then what do we have in The Last Jedi?
Yeah,
I mean,
that bit was kind of dull.
Oh, my God, that was so horrible.
I wouldn't call it horrible, I'd call it dull.
Extremely slow across the screen for some fake build-up of tension. Oh, look, they're slowly catching up. Oh, for the love of God, this is so bad.
Yeah, and can you just hyperspace ahead of them?
No, because they didn't have enough fucking fuel. It's all about the
And they'd just be tracked anyway, Ryan.
No, I'm talking about the First Order. Why couldn't they just hyperspace so they were in front of them?
I can see that you guys.
Thank you, Ryan. I never thought of that.
I can see that you guys are Star Wars fans. The only things about Star Wars, there's only 3 things I like about Star Wars. Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back, and The Mandalorian.
Ah, yes, The Mandalorian.
You didn't like Return of the Jedi?
No, I didn't even.
Ewoks, right?
I liked The Clone Wars as well. That was a good series.
I haven't seen the Clone Wars.
It is a good series. It really gives character and life to the clone troopers.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
There's also a Clone Wars movie. That was pretty good, too.
I'm just a die-in-the-wool Trekkie.
Anyway,
I like Trek. I just finished Star Trek Picard. It was all right. It was okay. It got boring from time to time.
I haven't even watched that Star Trek
Well, I got 2
Picard.
months trial since I'm not going to work anymore, and
Yeah.
so I watched Star Trek Picard. I'll cancel in a little bit, so I'm not going to pay for that shit.
Wow, we went straight from one tangent into another one.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
We're talented. This is a talented group.
Does everybody want to kind of give a refresher so Alex can kind of catch up and everyone?
Oh, did I get along
remember?
right?
Madness. Madness happened.
Was he before we visited the Card Giants he left? Or was he there for when we visited the Card Giants that were Waterdeep?
Oh no, he was there. He was there for like even the first part of Greenfields. He was there for the one that you missed, Ryan.
Right.
Yeah.
And then gone for last week when you were here.
Where we had him circling above, watching above us, and
well, actually, he was I screwed up. Remember, he was a wolf, a dire wolf.
Yes.
He gets off in the field, takes out some goblins.
My subjects, by the way, he was tearing up my subjects.
Yeah, they taste nasty.
Yep.
Resembles black
we-
licorice.
We should
I
really
like
try. We should really try and get
You
an
might
army
like
of
that,
goblins for a Garl at this point.
Yeah, that would be cool.
I've single-handedly defeated world hunger.
Wow, you did?
Yeah, I've planted giant food at every place we've been.
That's a good point.
So, we went to Greenfields and they got attacked by hell giants, and we drove
Yep.
them off. I called down lightning on myself and almost killed 2 hell giants.
The goblin killed one.
I believe we got them down to the point where they were crying.
Oh, no, they
Giants,
both,
not Ryan.
Okay.
both the giants are dead, and we went to the wall, and there at the wall we saw a whole array of hill giants and ogres and goblins outside the wall. And we were like, all right, let's do this.
That's
They had
pretty much
goblins-
it.
Ogre
like,
goblins.
Oh
Alex,
yeah,
you probably
I'm
remember
pretty
where,
much, and I'm pretty much out of spell slots.
you remember where the alarm bell finally rang in the temple. Bong, bong. Resounding out over the fields, eventually reaching miles away to the walls to alert guards who sounded alarm gongs on the wall at each guard station. Like I said, posted like a mile apart. Massive walls. You guys routed and rallied along with some NPCs and whatnot. You guys followed the escaping horde through the fields, through the orchards. Eventually to a point in the wall where it appears that they climbed over. When the goblins, hobgoblins, and ogres were fleeing over the wall, some of them getting pecked off by archers, while the alarms were going off, inexplicably, 2 hill giants climb over the walls into the city and are, trying to gather up food and like manically. That's where you guys came in, dispatched those 2 giants. Yeah, like got them down. Michael turned Warvel, the dwarf with the mad gleam in his eye, turned him into a giant constrictor snake. So it was like
Yeah, that's cool.
talk about giant monster movies or giant animal movies. A hill giant and a giant python wrestling it out. Before the giants are totally dispatched, you guys had totally reduced them to like sobbing piles of giant flesh. Oh, one thing was pretty awesome. They didn't even have their weapons in because they climbed the walls. And one of them did like a leaping belly flop on Far Eye. That was pretty cool.
Yep.
Total fucking WWF era headhunters, like Samu, Fatu.
I remember that guy.
No,
Yeah, Samu and Fatu, the headhunters.
Jimmy Superfly Snuka up off the top ropes. Woo!
And
Boom!
just a giant belly flop right on Far Eye.
Yeah. And
you
then
guys
I called down lightning on him.
Yeah. You guys ended up dispatching these 2 hill giants. Went up the wall to like meet up with to like just to see what the hell's going on. And there, like I said, there are a few guards up there, but like I said, the guard stations are so far apart. Like they're a mile apart, so there's not many. I don't know, a dozen. approximately. Guards, I mean. When you guys got up to the top of the wall, you guys look out towards the east. The sun is just starting to rise. Therefore, we won't have to worry. We won't worry about like any like light penalties or vision penalties.
All right, I deactivate my light spell then.
Yeah. You go out. I mean, you go onto the walls. Like I said, the walls on the inside are only 20 feet high. You guys like go to like an area where you guys could easily climb up. You climb up, blah, blah, blah. The outside of the walls, 60-foot drop off. But the walls are wide, right? Like they're like 30 feet wide or whatever. On top, you look over and out to the east to the Forlorn Hills, silhouetted against the lightening sky to the east. You can see that there appears to be 4 giants, some ogres, and a swarm of goblins in the distance. And that's pretty much where we left off. And they were like, you know, chucking rocks. Like, anyways, that's pretty much where you guys were left off. That there is.
Oh yeah, they were chucking my subjects over the wall with the catapult too.
Yeah, each of the ogres has a contraption on his back and shoulders. It basically looks like a backpack with a built-in catapult or slingshot almost. And there's like an occasional screech and a smack as a goblin gets chucked from it, splatting against the wall. And that's where you guys pretty much left off. 4 giants. Well, and you can see 4 giants, 6 ogres, and a bunch of goblins. Down at the base of the wall, like I said, the wall on the outside is 60 feet high. Down at the base, you can see that, like, how do I describe it? It's not capped, right? Like, it's not like a fucking golf course where it's, you know, mowed and clipped all the way up to the wall. At the base of the wall, you can see that there's like some smaller trees and brush and stuff like that for probably about 20 to 30 feet. Like,
Y'all really should mow and clip this. The goblins could be, you know, like hiding down in that brush.
you could kind of see like where the foliage has somewhat been trampled, where they did make their way in and out, especially the ogres and the 2 giants. And that's pretty much where we left off.
No rest.
No
Well, no rest for the wicked.
I'm on 10 hit points and I'm basically out of spells.
Yeah, stay up on the wall for a moment then.
Toll the dead, dude.
Yeah, I'm all right. It's just my high level spells that are right. So I won't be able to do much, but I can still do stuff.
Hey, just out of curiosity, on the wall, it's not just like you know, like you just walk off. There's a ledge or you know, machinations or something so that you could like duck behind and stand up. You can get covered.
I think so.
I mean, why wouldn't you? I mean, it would just be like flat on top, like we're all just standing there exposed on the wall.
Yeah. No, there's probably some sort of like half cover crenellations or whatever.
Okay.
Except for the little guy. That's 3/4.
Okay.
How's that?
Okay, I was just like, you know, okay. That way you can like use your movement to like stand up, fall prone, you know, take cover, stuff like that.
It's nice to be small.
Yeah.
These guys are probably out of range of most of our stuff. That's
120
how it
feet.
was. Yeah.
Adventure says 120 feet.
Ooh,
Okay.
dear.
120 feet away.
Girl should have no reason or no problem.
Yeah, Garl would, if he saw an opportunity to shoot one of those ogres or a giant, someone big, because he doesn't want to shoot his, or even a hobgoblin, he doesn't want to shoot his subjects if he don't have to.
I could do guiding bolt, I think. But like I said, I don't know. I could do that like seven times if we wanted to pepper them. Like, but then it would be true, yeah, if there was no healing or anything.
What is the range of my bow?
What, you got a short bow?
I have both a short bow and a light crossbow.
If we had 10 minutes, I could do something.
What
You
do you
could
have in
probably
mind?
use them. Like I said, they're 120 feet away.
Yep.
So it's
I could cast hallucinatory terrain and make it look like there's a giant gap between the front walls and where they're coming from.
Oh, I don't know if that's gonna matter because they're just chucking goblins over the wall. So.
Well, we can kill goblins.
No, we can't. Garl will say,
That's right.
but
we can shoot goblins.
no, we can't.
They just don't taste very good.
But
What's the range on Toll the Dead?
60.
60? Okay.
what are we still considered in combat? Because this is in reference to a mechanic.
No, not necessarily. No. No one has like really taken any action, so no, like I said, it's just
Because Garl's gonna if they're 120 feet out, he's gonna shoot at them. And and if that would be considered the first round of combat, then he can shoot twice.
yeah. Well, do what? We will make it like a new combat as soon as it goes, but yeah, let's figure out what everyone is gonna.
Yep.
If you guys are gonna get but yeah.
Hey, do y'all have any extra arrows or crossbow bolts? Or guard hanging nearby?
Do you know what? There would be extra arrows from someone. Yeah, because like I said, all the guards are archers. Like they do have bows and stuff like that. So that's kind of what's like I said, it's like just
all right.
Shots fired. Oh, sorry. One more thing about this virus too, just to add. Fucking, we had a triple fucking murder the other day.
Did they test positive for COVID-19 and thus fall into the deaths by coronavirus category?
No, not that I know of.
If
grandparents and two grandchildren. It was the estranged dad came and
Lord,
slit everybody's throat in the middle of the night.
Oh.
If they're like crossbows available, I'll take one.
What a lovely individual.
Well, I know. Like, I just can't believe it. Like, why? Like, I figure that, like, we don't know much yet because, like, it's whatever, under investigation. But, like, the 5-year-old survived, but he's been moved to Edmonton in critical condition. And the 7-year-old and the 2 grandparents are deceased.
Yeah, I'll take a few light crossbow shots at disadvantage, sure, because it'll be a long range for us.
Are you guys gonna stay up on the battlements and fight, or is anybody gonna go make their way towards them? Or because, like I said, it's countryside, right? So it's not like a mode soccer pitch.
You could sneak up if you wanted.
I would say you could certainly at least try. Yeah, like it.
Yeah, fuck it. I'm going up there. Anyone coming?
Nope.
Up the wall.
No, I've got 10 hit points, man. So
I got better. Garl will say I got better sight, and I can be more effective from firing above here than being down and firing up.
Alternatively, I could give you all the power of flight or turn you all into like bears.
I wouldn't mind.
Tempting.
Garl will say, "No, thank you. A bear can't shoot a bow."
That is a point.
In addition, I have this potion of fire breath, so if we did the bear idea, we could head up there and we could have a fire breathing bear.
That would really scare them.
Not gonna feed it to the bear. Not it.
A flying
No,
fire
if
breathing
I drink it before I turn into a bear, and then you turn me into a bear, then
You know what?
Yeah.
I could
Drink
become
potions.
a flying bear if I cast a spell and then transformed into a bear.
You guys plan a second. I gotta go to the washroom. Water and coffee is getting me now.
the potion
It's
has
not
a
a
duration,
giant snake.
so
And then you can
the
give
way
me
I
the
see it,
gift.
if the duration of the potion will still be going when you get polymorph, so it affects your animal form too.
I'm okay with a flying fire breathing bear. I'd allow it.
Yep. It would really freak them out.
I just have
Well, I
a
think
fun
it
time
would be
picturing.
fly or turn into a bear.
Or you could
I'm a
summon a
druid.
storm
I
and
can
he
turn
could
into a bear on my own.
No third level
summon-
or higher spell slots left.
use his call woodland animals to get a bunch of sharks, and then we could spring the pixie dust on them and have a sharknado.
Oh yeah, the pixie does. I forgot about that. Yeah, that could work.
All right, I'm up for the Sharknado.
Gonna be rather risky.
We've established that I can turn into a whale, so I'll be a whale in the Sharknado.
We can't breathe then, though, right?
Become poison frog nados.
Ooh, what an idea.
This is crazy.
This is fun.
I say we still cast the hallucinatory terrain spell just so they can't encroach.
That's a good idea.
And then I can still do the fly or transform spell. Because hallucinatory terrain's 24 hours, no concentration.
Okay.
Ooh.
Yes, indeed.
Ooh. I know what I could do.
Yeah.
I could make it look like the entire field around them is covered in molten tar. Because tar is a natural recurring feature. I don't know what the hell to call it. They won't want to start in the hot tar, and then we can just range them to death. I can make everyone fly. We can go higher than they can throw.
I'm good behind the wall. I got 3/4 cover.
Hey, they got plenty of crossbow bolts. I got a crossbow.
Yeah.
And if you put
What are
tar,
they? Are they hill giants?
They're
Yes.
hell giants.
Okay, well then they can
Well,
destroy the wall.
they're ogres that are wobbling the goblins at us. I don't know.
If they have rock throw, then they can destroy the wall.
but if you put down the
wall's
tar,
like feet thick.
if you put down the tar down there that you're talking about, then we can take flaming arrows and lighter the fire.
Well, it's hallucinatory terrain. It's not actual
It's
tar.
not real.
Well, get some real tar and drop it.
You think we can do that? You think we can find some real tar?
Bombs away. I don't know.
We need to be higher level. If someone had creation, they could actually do that, create some tar. I don't know how much, but
We could
I've
probably
never
take,
heard that.
and get some vegetable oil or something like that from around here. Drop that and
Yeah.
let that afire.
And there must be somewhere we can buy alchemist fire here as well, or that would have alchemist fire that we can
We're at
use.
a time limit, so for my 10 minutes, I'm
Yeah.
going to cast the spell.
Yep.
And then whatever you guys want to do after that, I'm all ears.
Okay.
Why do you need 10 minutes to do it?
He's doing a
It
ritual.
takes 10 minutes to cast.
Are you out of spell
Post
slot,
into
or
terrain.
just-
No, it's just normal casting time.
Oh, is
Uh-huh.
it?
Yep.
I thought it was a ritual that you were doing. That's why the 10 minutes.
if you want, I could stand in front of you and like offer you cover, like I don't know, just so you can cast. the
So
spell.
it's a 150-foot reach, so I could go like 30 feet into the city and still reach. Oh, I'm sorry, it's a 300-foot range, and a 150-foot cube is what it affects.
Okay.
I'll go to the next city over and still cast it.
That'll be fine then. Could you make it seem like the terrain is really slippy and they'll fall over? Because that would solve the problem of them.
They're not smart creatures.
Hmm?
I think
Well-
something that makes immediate death a possibility would keep them away.
No, I mean, just like for them to fall over, not actually kill them, just fall over.
Because then they would try it. I don't want them to try it. I want them to think, oh shit, if I touch this, I'm probably going to die.
A
Because
wall,
if they touch it and they inspect it, then they're going to know.
Okay, got you.
an illusionary wall of fire.
I could do a volcano.
Yeah,
Well,
that would be
there'd
something.
be, depending on how smart they are, that volcanoes make a lot of ground shaking as well. I don't know if you could do that with that terrain.
I think I can. Let's see. No shaking.
How
I can
many
do
giants and
sound
goblinoids are geologists?
All of them. Just really bad ones.
Be like rocks.
Shiny number rock or shiny math rocks.
Yeah.
So could you use the hallucinatory terrain to just hide us so we could move up there?
It doesn't affect what's it called?
People,
It
creature.
doesn't affect creatures or structures.
Okay.
So I mean, I could make something that we could potentially be inside of, but the second we pass through, they'll see us.
All right. So I think it's probably all into animals is our best bet right now,
Right.
right?
So, any plan?
Yeah, I'm gonna cast illusionary terrain. Taking the 10 minutes, I'm gonna make 120 feet in front of us look like a complete drop.
Okay. I should almost read it.
I can read it to you if you want.
All right.
You make a natural terrain in a 150-foot cube in range. Look, sound, and
Nice.
smell like something other sort of terrain. Thus, an open field can be a road or resemble a swamp, a hill, a crevasse, or some other difficult or impossible terrain. And goes on to say ponds and something. Manufactured structures, equipment, and creatures within the area aren't changed in appearance. And then it's a DC save to investigate.
Like an intelligence.
It is an investigation intelligence, yes.
Okay.
And I'll just be on the wall, and I'll take my staff and I'll smack it into the wall, and they'll see the ground crumble away. I'm Gandalf.
Bird Gandalf. you're right against the Browns, clearly.
Clearly.
So, some arrow fire, some occasional giant stone, the occasional screaming goblin until it slams into the stone or even into a person. And it's not like a full volley, just kind of back and forth of some missile fire. And you could see Cloud doing his strange Aarakocra casting.
So it doesn't stop us from seeing it, right? So when he does it, we can see the big drop into the thing.
Yeah. And eventually, like, I picture the Aarakocra being like, because because I don't even know if they can still do it, but they used to be able to like summon elementals.
Just an Aarakocra? No, but as a druid I can.
Yeah, because they used to be like Aarakocra, like the monster I know, used to be able to summon elementals, and they do like a strange flying thing, like a flying dance, pretty much. A lot of wing flapping, stuff like that. I figured that's what it's like. It's like
Yeah.
Bunch of
prairie
caw
chicken. Let's say like a prairie chicken cock trying to court some females doing his fancy dance. And he then smacks the wall, and you guys can see a chasm appear as the ground. Oh, fuck, I'm tired. Drops away. And yeah, like reaching right up to the small horde and expanding about 150 feet wide. And I don't know. They're certainly not doesn't look like they're like advancing forward as of yet.
Garl
And,
would be hollering at his goblins. Subjects, rally around me and protect my priest.
Raise up against your overlords. They are usurpers to my crown.
Michael, how long does your polymorph last? An hour?
It lasts an hour, but he's only like got 15 hit points. I would just assume, unless he really wants to go out there and waggle with them, that I think I'll just drop it. And
Okay,
drop the
so then,
concentration on it and let him go back and like, here, do you want my bow or you want my crossbow? If he doesn't have one already.
oh, I think he has a crossbow.
Okay, and we'll just both of us. I'm assuming we'll just sit up there and plug at the giants. The giants, not the ogres, not the goblins, the giants.
Okay.
That's what I'm gonna sit there and plop down on my turn, and stick back up, fire, plop down on my turn, stick back up, fire. That's until they start coming over the walls. That's what I'm doing. Yeah, I see concentration on that.
Your lone friendly goblin is there as well.
He's going to run out and be like, "Come on, buddy, you know how this does. You can same thing, you know." Except he could hide and get an advantage, and that will cut out for the distance. So he'd just make normal runs, normal rolls, and just ping.
Actually, what is the range on a short bow?
120 or to 320.
No, it's not. A short bow is 80 to 320.
80 to 320. All right.
So 80, anything after 80 is long range, and it's same thing with the light crossbow. Anything after 80 is long range.
Okay.
Yeah, I think a longbow is like 150, 600,
Yeah.
or 300.
600's the max on it, but
And I
for a
could use,
longbow.
if somebody will hand me a longbow, I could use one. And not
Unfor-
have,
Unfortunately, Garl don't have one because it's
Yeah, you're
bigger
short.
than he is.
yeah. But I could use a longbow. I just
Uh,
when I was making my character, I was like, what the fuck? You know, I got a short sword and a short bow. That way it's always D6 is easier for, you know. But no, in this
Yeah.
case, range would be better for a longbow.
and these guys are all scouts. So they all have short bows.
Okay. So I have both a short bow and a light crossbow that I got from friend Chander.
But at the beginning of the combat, Garl will take 2 shots in his initiative order at the ones that are trying to damage his subjects with the catapults on the back.
Yeah, until they start,
I don't
rushing the walls. Fuck them.
I don't have a light crossbow, so I'm just gonna wait until they get here. Or do guiding bow.
Do they have catapults or siege equipment?
The ogres
Have goblin catapults.
Yep, goblin
Okay.
chuckers.
Maybe we could send Ryan Disappear to go take care of it with his fire breath.
That's the point.
But unless
Sure,
Garl,
I mean, I'd be up for it. Fire would also be up for it.
What would you think of a flying, fire-breathing bear?
Can we
That
do
would
that?
absolutely terrify them. That would be very effective.
or
Would you
make
be
them
okay if we
roll
sent a
and laugh.
fire-breathing bear out to straight film?
Gar-
Yeah, sorry.
Breathe, man, breathe.
Well, so I have pixie dust. I may not roll the one that was before, but we can try it.
Do it.
Let's do it.
Garl will go ahead and take the -5 on his bow shots from his sharpshooter, unless otherwise stated so.
Oh, yeah, that way,
So-
yeah. You don't have the range penalties for
No,
firing that.
No, that's why Garl's willing to sit up and peck.
I'm just trying to logic it out in my head.
Okay.
Because they've got this chasm that's appeared. You can see that there seems to be some sort of like commotion or discussion. But like from the giant horde that
So the potion of fire breath, I can only do it 3 times, but I'm certainly
Don't
going
know
to
that.
do. Huh?
They don't know that.
Yeah. Okay, I'm willing to do this.
I conjure woodland beings. I do pixies, and they polymorph,
I
and then
I drink the potion first. So it lasts an hour or until I've done it 3 times. So drink the potion of fire breath. You summon the pixies.
Well, we'd still have to hit you with the pixie dust after that.
Well, can pixies also cast fly?
Both
they
are concentration.
One.
Well, one pixie could concentrate on polymorph, and another could concentrate on fly.
I can only command them all to do everything together at the same
Oh.
time, like
Ah.
one pull up.
Okay. Okay. Drink the potion.
And half of you do this, and half of you do that.
One first pinch of the pixie dust on my head.
Ooh, okay.
D100, right?
Oh, I gotta find that. I don't know. I can't remember where it was now. Oh yeah. What? Right.
Huh?
What?
Okay. Shoot. Well, I found where someone to put it up if that would help. You got it? You want me to roll?
I'm looking here. It is D100.
Yeah.
You reach into this little pouch. Looks just like your typical glitter, but even finer. It feels somehow cool to the touch. Sprinkle a little pinch over your head, and it's just like the Tinkerbell,
Yeah.
sparkle. Kind of looks like glitter. Kind of looks like a sparkler as it fizzles over you.
Okay. That's a 20 on a D100.
Oh, 20?
Yeah.
You sprinkle it on, and you kind of got your fingers crossed. And, right?
Yeah.
You gain a flying speed of 60 feet for 10 minutes.
Okay. Am I also there now?
Okay. So this bear just...
Yeah, whoever wants to be a bear. I have 8 shots. I'll be a bear. Anyone else want to come?
I'm good.
I think I'll stay behind and do a bit of cleaning up in case any goblins manage to get over the wall. Someone needs to deal with them.
Okay, I become a ghost white bear.
Being a bear and cleaning them up would be best.
No, they're my subjects.
All right.
We gotta save them. They've been brainwashed.
Okay, how would you suggest doing it then? How would you... I could use my charm, yeah.
Well, we can only save the ones we can save.
Take off a use of that pixie dust, by the way.
Well, how many uses does it have?
Fuck. I don't know.
One use down.
No.
Use down anyway.
Yeah, it's I think 10, but I'm not 100%.
All right. Well, I just wrote down one use down on my character sheet. We'll figure it out later.
10 pinches.
All right.
A pinch can substitute for any components for any enchantment spell, 3rd level or lower. And you can sprinkle it on people for...
All right. Well, I'm moving up towards until I get within range for the fire breath. I want to. Can I hit all of the goblin chuckers with fire breath?
What's the area of it? I
Let
think
me
it's
check.
I think it's a single target. I think it's I'm not sure. It might be a line. It might be a target.
Exhale fire as a target. within 30 feet of you. So yeah, it's one target.
So, to reiterate, there is 4 hill giants out there, 6 ogres with chuckers, and small horde of goblins.
I think I want to go for the one of the goblin chuckers.
Okay, this kind of impasse has been caused by the terrain, by the hallucinatory terrain, the illusionary chasm, this massive sinkhole that's appeared. So you guys can do this casting, you guys can do this prep, but I would say after about 10 minutes, they have it somewhat figured out and investigated and confident enough where, like, I don't think they're gonna all be believing the chasm, but it buys you guys time. So Ryan, you're a fire-breathing bear that has fly.
Yep.
I should terrify them.
Or they'll think you're a spirit animal. Just like Coco. And Cloud, you two are a bear. Are you gonna get some? Anyone else gonna use pixie dust while I've got it?
No, try and save as much as we can.
So you're saying they figured out the hallucinatory terrain?
I would say after time it would be, but they still don't really look like they're like charging the walls as of yet. Not yet. Anyways. So that's what I hate about this adventure. It just doesn't make sense to me.
So I'm moving up. I'm gonna, when I'm within 30 feet of one of the goblin chuckers, I'm going to use my fire breath as a bonus action.
Okay, that's gonna be your intent. Okay, because I don't know how to do this. I really, really don't. This is weird.
Is it weirder than a flying, fire-breathing bear?
Kind of. Well, it's not.
Oh, dear.
I mean, it's just the situation is weird to me because it's like it says like they're 120 feet and they're whatever, but it doesn't say like anything else. So I mean, like,
Yeah, but do they come
Ah.
forward? Do they leave? I mean, how long are they just going to stand there 120 feet while we just sit up here and fire fucking missile projections at them and they casually throw rocks and goblins? I mean,
You see?
eventually they're just going to be like, I'll fuck off and leave, right?
that's exactly what I'm trying to logic out in my head, Michael.
Yeah.
Because it
How long
doesn't
would
say
they
anything.
take?
It just says once the Giants are defeated. Well, what the fuck? It doesn't say that they like. It doesn't say they charge the walls now. It doesn't say that they would. It doesn't.
I mean, they're 60
I don't
foot
know.
walls. Even for a giant,
Yeah.
that would be problematic to climb.
I know it's still 3 times taller than them.
Yeah, I mean, that's like me trying to climb a 15-foot wall.
I almost think that
Maybe?
this would just be like kind of pitched, and then honestly, they might just like it might be an hour.
I mean, 2 giants made it over the wall and into there, right?
Right, because no one was around yet.
Really,
at that
God,
time.
they got ladders? Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
No, if you look down, you could see like it's possible for it to be
It's
climbing
quite
by
a go.
giant
Are you
because
sure
it's
the
like
adventure wasn't referring to the ones inside the town?
well, no, it talked about those ones. That's the thing. Like I'm trying to think logically, and like I honestly think that they would fall back into the hills after a while.
I'm just like,
If they think it's not
Uh,
worth it, I'd say yeah. I mean, if
'Cause,
they
like, now
see
that
a
the whole-
flying bear spitting
Uh,
fire, they would have second thoughts.
Because I
fuck
would say,
this shit, I'm out.
right.
Right?
Because, like, okay, let's put it this way. This is what happened. Okay, let's just reiterate. Because this is my logic. They come in. They sent in
what is their objective here? Like,
what?
what is their
Ryan,
objective
let
for
him
attacking the
finish.
town? Sorry, go ahead.
Okay. This is what it says. Middle of the night. These guys show up. They send in like the scouts, right? The goblins, the bugbears, the ogres. 3 bands of them. You know, it has the timeline and whatever. The bell rings. That alerts the walls. Once the bell rings and shit like that, they all start running for the walls because they're like, oh shit, right? It says, inexplicably, once the alarms start ringing, the two giants climb in.
Why
They're,
would they?
well, remember Michael even said, are they children? Or are they, mentally disabled? Remember? They were sobbing like children. They were like, they climb in. It talks about what happens if you deal with those guys, like the alternate things you could do, right? And then it says what's on the outside of the walls. But it does say, like, yeah, they're 120 feet away. Everybody's been alerted.
It just sounds like they're always siege. But I don't know what.
Well, I don't know how only 4 giants and 6 ogres, a bunch of goblins can siege this place.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's weird.
So I honestly
Unless they're
think
possessed.
that
Hill giants are on the lower spectrum, so they're probably
They're not the smartest cookies there.
I feel you. They just throw rocks and oh fuck it, I'm not killing those people up there.
Is there
Fuck it all
something
day.
canonically, like story-wise, why they would be there? Are they after something, or are they just stacking rocks?
That I was going to say maybe they're there to steal whatever food they can, an opportunity, because possibly there's a way that the other 2 were eating and grabbing stuff that maybe they're just close to starving or something.
that is like
Maybe.
the resource of this place is food. And if you remember from the talk of the female hill giant before and stuff, I honestly think that it would be a little bit of a skirmish and they would fall back into the Forlorn Hills east. It might take an hour because, I mean, honestly, once sunrise comes up, why would they just stay out there and be pecked off? Why would they charge the wall?
Yeah.
They might charge the wall, but how effective do they think they can get over there? Do they have ladders? Do they have a rope?
Right. No, that's what I'm saying. Like, it
fuck
would
that.
be kind of ridiculous for them to charge a 60-foot wall while there's, like, adventurers and guards and just more coming as time goes on.
Yeah, there's the
To
whole
fortify
cost versus reward.
Great.
I mean, they're not that stupid. I mean, the stupid is their plan. Oh, fuck it. Oh, well, this was a dumb plan. Let's leave.
Yeah.
If they were smart, they would have brought a rope or a ladder or something.
I think after some time, once the sun is up, they just fall back into the Forlorn Hills.
Yeah.
I really do.
Wait, still up a good portion then. Well.
Burn all their
not necessarily.
catapults.
I
You
would
can
say
still
that, like,
freak them out.
you route some of them, right? Like, I'm not going to say there's no casualties. It's just I don't see any point in. I don't know. I don't want to be anticlimactic, but they fall back. They would have to.
Oh, yeah.
I should have flown over them as an Aircrocker and had them polymorph me into an elephant on top of them.
That would freak them out, yeah. So what's the plan now?
I'm gonna have to say that because I just like I said, I'm trying to logic it out, and I don't see any reason why they would just stay to fight to be killed. I don't see why they would.
Oh, let's wait. Let's sleep. Get our resources back, and then track them back to their.
What if they were starving?
Back to their lair and slash them all.
That is
this was
assuming
like the last
they
shot.
would not continue lobbing girls' subjects against the wall. What I'm thinking is just throw the weirdest, creepiest shit at them so they go, hang on, this isn't worth it, and turn back. Then
You
we
know
can
what?
take a
They
break
would
and then
turn
track
around.
them.
Well, yeah, but they're still going to have girl subjects with them.
No, they turn around once they ran out of
Oh yeah, at least they
goblins.
won't be lobbing them against the wall where they get free lobotomies.
Eventually, they would have to shoot their last goblin, and then what?
Fuck it, boys, let's go home.
Yeah, I mean, none of the goblins are on the walls. They all look like they were killed. Fuck it, let's
Not
go get some more
matter about
goblins.
The walls of goblins. It's just the walls of the Jericho will stay up if the Israelites were throwing goblins at them. You know, it's not
Yeah.
far.
I mean, they don't have trumpets, so walls aren't going to fall.
So they
Surely-
regrouped to capture more goblins.
Surely what we
Yeah,
need to do
that's-
is to make the giants think it is not worth continuing their attack. So we have to throw
That's what I'm
something
saying,
at
we
them
got-
that would make
Well,
them
that's how I
second-guess
already
themselves.
feel about it. Like, I mean, now that, like I said, it was supposed to be like. Basically, they're supposed to. It says in the adventure, basically, so that they could go gather food and throw it over the wall, and it was gonna be collected up and taken away. But now that the alarm is sounded, the ones inside have been routed. They kind
Let's
of
be
have
honest. Who signed up to fight flying fire bears?
right.
Well,
So
the
yeah,
goblins
let's
didn't-
throw the flying, fire-breathing bear at them, and they'll turn around.
I think
If-
that's gonna happen anyways. I really do.
That could have been a lot worse, though. I could have rolled confusion on the pixie dust table, and then I might have attacked you.
Oh no.
Or walked
would
randomly in a
try to
direction
fly
and walked
fire
off the
bear.
wall.
Yeah.
Oh, that's you, Dad.
That would have been.
So
Yeah.
I tried to
Take
do. I tried to
60,
do
10
as much
psychic
damage.
damage for falling into a hole.
Mhm.
It's a joke.
So, I can't really talk right now because I'm in a bear form and flying around with doing fire. But I think our best bet is probably if they're going to leave, then we should just rest and then track them back
But
to
you
where
first need to wait for them to leave.
I've got a question for the DM.
And then take a nap. And then
Do
a
I
nap.
have any
after all.
pepper seeds?
Pardon me?
Do I have any pepper seeds?
Let's go with no.
I don't know. I would say
Oh.
here because you could get almost anything here.
Oh.
And
Okay.
when you, yeah, sure.
So I'm going to make a chili in game, and it's going to be flying fire bear.
Ooh,
We're going to be rich.
Yeah. But first, let's just get rid of those giants.
I'll say it again. I would say maybe a half hour, maybe an hour. But once the sun is up, they just fall back. They fall back into the hills. They're gone. You can see that they start moving east into the hills. Because there's no reason they're just going to stand there. I can't see why they would charge up and just be killed at the base of the wall. I can't, it was supposed to be like a stealth mission, kind of.
Giants on a stealth
Yeah.
mission.
Well, that's why they sent in the goblins and bugbears, right?
Well, if they leave before my fly is up, then I'll fly back out to the top of the wall before it wears off.
Yeah, and and I'm not gonna say it was a no. No, certainly you guys
Oh.
injure them. Ryan.
Three fire breaths.
Yeah.
Uh,
You take out. I'll say you take out some goblins. You do start like a chucker on fire. Like you do cause some general chaos. That's the whole
General
point, right?
chaos.
They got a fire. They got a flying fire breathing bear. They got like 60-foot wall, and it's like miles wide. Archers, adventurers. The cover of nighttime is gone. I mean, they're stupid, but then there's like
Real stupid.
illogical, right? And that's just not even.
Yeah, and honestly, like mechanically, like if the fire breathing thing for the potion of fire breath is a bonus action, so I could do that and then take the dodge action. So even if they shot me, they wouldn't be able to hit me either.
Right. So.
Sorry, my dog keeps.
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna have to say that. I'm gonna call it that because I'm just trying to logic it out, and I just can't. Like I don't see how or why, but they fall back into the hills.
Yay. I think we all need a rest. That was a long night.
I agree.
You know, and like I said, as time goes on, just more and more archers would appear on the wall too.
Yeah. I think we're going to sleep, guys. I say as I turn back to my T-Fight and cleric form.
Like, by the time they leave, it's morning. Sun is up in the east. In fact, it's hard to even look east. You guys lose sight of the giants for staring into the rising sun.
All right. Mark off that fire breath potion.
They go into the hills. By now, there's like dozens of archers in this area. They're all well-trained scouts. Eventually, one of the captains, you could hear he like yells at one of his men because one of his men takes another shot, and he's like, "Save your arrows!" And the general kind of milling about and clean up kind of starts because, like, you know, they are like scraping spattered goblins off the top of the wall, scraping them off and chucking them over, whatever. Doing triage on some people that were injured. Maybe some were killed. And you can hear that, like, the din of the bell and the gongs eventually subsides. And things are once again peaceful. You're on top of the wall. The captain of the guard, or one of the captains, I should say, comes over, and he's just, you know, wearing leather armor. He has like insignia of a wheat sheaf on it, on his armor, and he comes over, nodding his head gratefully to all of you, and he says, and he motions to the east, and he says, "What was all that about?"
I shrug.
Well, apparently the hill giant's still brave enough to assault your keep. By the way, we have two heads.
Oh, it's not that
Over the
captain.
pumpkin field.
It's but yeah, he,
Uh,
yeah, but well, he nods gratefully. He's like, you can tell, like he's relieved that losses are at a minimum or whatever.
huh. So yeah, apparently they feel strong enough, powerful enough to come and launch assaults against you here in this walled city of yours. Granted, they're hill giants, and so they're not very well organized. But I was assuming when we were coming here, we ran into a hill giant lady who said all the men. By the way, were these hill giants we were fighting? Were they male or female?
The two you killed for sure were male.
Okay. Said all the men were taken by some
Gaw.
being, Gaw.
Gaw.
And Gaw might be able to organize them a little better, especially now that they know that this didn't exactly work. They may go back and under the direction of Gaw build ladders or something in order to better storm the walls. Maybe even an actual something besides a goblin chucker, but something to actually batter down the walls. Granted, these are 30 feet thick. But, giants are big and strong. They could do it. This is just the first assault. It will be worse from here on out.
He nods. He says, well, I want to show you something.
All right.
Any motions for y'all to follow him? You guys are, kind of chatting or whatever. You guys go to like the nearest, like basically like guard station on top of the wall where the wall widens out here and there. Every mile it widens out. There's actually, as you approach, you can see that there's like a pagoda with a big gong in the middle of like this widened area that juts out of the wall. And there's also a couple other buildings that look like they're like barracks and guard houses atop of each one of these widened areas, spread apart every mile. And when you guys get there, he takes you to the inside edge where you can see that there are stairs that go down to ground level inside. So an easy way to get down.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't have to like climb down the walls or anything. But he takes you down, and when you guys get down to the ground, he goes around a corner, and there's a big metal door. Like double doors, actually. He pulls out a ring of keys, and he opens one up, and pulls the door open, and the hinges creak, scream, metal on metal. He opens them up, and he says, "Come." And you guys enter, and it's big enough for like a wagon, these doors, right? Like big double doors. And there are, it's a sloping stone corridor. Again, big enough to fit a wagon. Go down a bit, just, like whatever, 20, 30 feet, turns. You go down, and you guys enter into a vast area. And I think everyone can see in the dark.
Yep.
I can't.
Oh.
Gave up my dark vision for something. I don't remember, like something, either brewing capabilities or music capabilities.
I cast light.
All right, thank you.
You cast light, and it's almost like the Indiana Jones government warehouse, like.
Oh.
Don't look at the Ark of the Covenant.
And there are
Paul trips and throw him up in the air to see if the magnetism pulls him some way.
and there are everywhere in here. Like, it's kind of cool in here. Dry, like it doesn't smell mildewy or anything. But everywhere
it's cool.
here,
I've got cold resistance.
There is crates and barrels and baskets and bins and even some laden wagons. Like, it's massive. And you can see that, like, there's dried apples in baskets and crates, other dried fruits and stuff in barrels and oil. There is massive amounts of, like,
food,
wheat in big storage bins and stuff. Yeah, it's like, and he.
So if they got under siege, they could hold out for a heck of a long time.
Well, and he says, I don't know if they even realize that we keep all of our storage underground.
Probably don't realize.
And you could see, like, oh yeah, there is a lot of food. No wonder why they can, like, supply food to most of the north. Like, there's lots of food. And
I'm
this is
filling
just
up my encumbrance with random seeds.
Yep. And also, just to let you know, because I don't think you were here that time. When you guys, there actually is, like, here in Golden Fields, there is a place called the Bounty of the Earth Mother, and there's a lady there, and what she does is trade and sell seeds and cuttings.
Yeah,
You could have pretty much anything, because a time you weren't here, I had role played you as basically spending a lot of your time there, exchanging information and seeds and stuff with her, with the lady that runs it. And she is like a druid, a worshiper of Shantea. So yeah, you can have almost anything for as far as, like, seeds and stuff goes. And yeah, and he says all of our food stores are kept underground. He says, so they might
I want to have enough seeds so that I can just walk and sow the earth on our adventure. The path of cloud.
Yeah. There'll just be like the Indiana Jones, like, red arrow on a map, eh? Just a lot of Indiana Jones references. Yeah, that's, he just looks at you kind of proudly, and now you can see that, like, oh yeah, like, they do produce a lot of food, a lot. They have a lot of stored underground. And he says, this is the only thing of real value here, is what we prepare in food. So
Yeah, if we're taking a long rest, I'll burn all my spell slots on plant growth to make sure everything grows super great here for the next few years.
oh yeah,
Perhaps we could barter with these hill giants and offer them extremely fair food trade deals, since it is nothing to you all, in exchange for them not to raid you, but there'd be no need for them to raid you if they're getting it for free. But I don't know, maybe they could provide some service or some monetary gain, below normal market value, since it is so little to you. But you would then gain the benefits of not having hill giants marauder your maybe they could even help patrol the outskirt areas to make sure nobody else comes and attacks you.
Or help plow the fields.
Cloud just looks at you with his eyes really big. A giant farm?
Yes, giant farm.
Yeah.
With giant plants.
How about a giant orchard? We could give them apples and they could have an apple orchard.
Sounds like an idea.
Just have giant seeds. And the tree on the giant's place was an apple.
Mm-hmm. He says, you plan on tracking them down?
Yeah.
He's kind of like,
Yeah.
They got my subjects.
Yeah.
he shrugs. He says, well, it's not my call to make, but he says, if you needed some for bargaining, I don't see why not, but he grabs like a handful of fruit, munches on it as he motions for you guys back towards the ramp and up and out of one of the storage facilities. So you guys can
Long rest.
do what you want. Do what you want.
I say we go, Garl will stand up. He'll put his bow in the air with his left hand, and he'll say, I say we track them on down and free my subjects from that enslavement of horrors and bring this treaty to them.
Yeah, I like this idea too. Would you all be willing to agree to such terms for some, either them helping guard or maybe helping plowing? Because let's face it, they'd be excellent at both.
Well,
Just think they can do more work than 2 mules in front of a plow.
well, he says it's not my call to make. He says you'd have to talk to the abbot.
Well, okay, we'll talk to the abbot after we've had a good nap.
Yeah,
Yep.
we're all very tired.
Agreed.
We've been up all night.
Fighting when we should have been sleeping.
Fighting? We were partying.
You were partying? You were people being enslaved?
Yeah, it was a mosh pit, wasn't it? Look at all the moshes of my subjects that got moshed.
Ah, now I get it. I think we're all just tired.
Yes. Abbot time. Where's the alarm? We'll ring the alarm and bring the abbot here.
No,
I don't think
it's
we need the
not.
alarm.
I'm going to sleep.
Good night.
Right here.
Cloud will go with you if you want. He's excited for the giant orchard.
So you guys decide to head back to the actual town.
Mhm.
Because you guys are like at the wall in the field.
All right.
So it's like walking normal. It'd probably take you like almost 45 minutes to get back to the North Furrows end. But on the way there, you guys go through the pumpkin patch that you can tell is like, you know, what was left of the field. A lot of it got smashed up, and you guys are like, your 2 dispatch giants are still, of course, laying there. There are some people that have come out just to come and look and gawk at them. Get such a close-up look at the giants.
Should we claim the heads before anyone else tries to nick our claim?
I think we already
those cookie
have.
eyes.
Carl's dragging one behind him.
Oh, good.
Remember, right? He tied the hair of the one to his belt.
Yeah.
So he's
Let's,
moving very slowly. I forgot all about that. That's a good thing you mentioned the heads.
Oh, glad I could help.
So,
Before I did
That's
something.
$200.
In the morning, I've prepared divination, so
I have divination.
yeah, I'm thinking we ask, will the giants react favorably to our deal?
You could ask for the direct location.
I got one. I'll ask. Different gods, you know.
All right. You want to ask the same question or just different ones? I'll ask where they are, and you ask if they'll react favorably to what we're offering. I don't know. Let's figure that out.
And you're casting divination? Why don't you read it so I don't have to?
Sure. Your magic and an offering put you in contact with a god or a god's servants. You ask a single question concerning a specific goal, event, or activity to occur within 7 days. The GM offers a truthful reply. The reply might be a short phrase, a cryptic rhyme, or an omen. The spell doesn't take into account any possible circumstances that might change the outcome, such as the casting of additional spells, or the loss or gain of a companion. If you cast the spell 2 or more times before finishing your next long rest, there is a cumulative 25% chance after each casting that you get a random reading. The GM makes this roll in secret. So the question that I would like to ask is, will the giants react favorably to the deal that our party is offering?
Your fear of she who eats all outweighs your diplomacy.
Their fear of she who eats all weighs our diplomacy.
Yeah, outweighs your diplomacy.
Okay, I'll relay that to the party then. I'll relay that. So I believe that this is referring to the Dragon Queen.
Or it could be referring to the giant woman who got all the giant men under her sway.
I think Silence is on a good. Yeah, I think you got something there, Silence. But we don't fear her. Maybe the Giants, or maybe.
Well, they fear
they're
she who is all.
Yeah, they fear her, not you guys fear her.
Yeah, their fear, so they won't go along with it because they fear her. And so it's not going to work. We have to take her out in order for them not to fear her. If we take her out so they no longer fear her, then they may go along with it. However, getting to her without, going through them may be problematic. So,
Yeah.
Can I make an insight check on what it means by she who eats all?
I'm going to use my divination on where they're at.
That's a good
Ooh,
idea.
where she who eats all is located. I can do that one. I like that.
Yeah, I mean that could work, but we don't really know who she who eats all is.
The giantess referred to is she who eats all.
I don't have to say giant. I just need to know where is the one known as she who eats all associated with the hill giant? That's my question. I'm asking Bacchus. Booyah. Where's the one? I don't need to specify what she is. Where's the one known as she who eats all associated with the hill giants of this area, this region?
She lies in her fortress surrounded by her consorts.
Oh, fuck you, man.
It is that woman. It is that giant.
Oh.
And she did steal them. Remember? The giantess singing the blues?
Hey, didn't you get a friendly one? A goblin?
Yeah, the goblin. Yeah, he probably knows where the hill giants live.
There you go.
Yeah. Let's go. Hey, yeah, we're going to take a nap, and then we're going to go and try to rescue some of your other goblin kin from the maltreatment they receive at the hands of the hill giants and ogres. Are you down, Gobbo? Yeah.
You ask him, and he is like.
At least you can show us where it is. You don't have to participate if you don't want to.
I assume that this is happening like back at the inn. You guys are just having like a bite and a drink, whether it be before. And this goblin, as I said, your charm spell's been gone a long time ago.
I'll even buy him a beer.
Well, and I was gonna say he is like you ask him a question and you realize that he hasn't fucking stopped eating. And the thing is that he's not even picky, right? Like things that you guys are like, you guys leave your bones on the plate or the peels and whatever, and you just push it aside. He's eating that, right? He doesn't like when you guys are considering garbage. He's still eating his food, right? He's ravenous, and frankly, he's a goblin. He's probably never eaten anything this
tasty.
Yeah.
Like he Lord, they must be starving them.
This is our way to the hearts of the goblin people.
Yep.
Cloud starts to eat like him.
And I got 4 gallons of beer a day, Gobbo. A bit more.
Well, even to the point where where everybody kind of realizes like he's not a danger or whatever. He's now with you guys and stuff like that. Well, he's first time customer. He even has his own tankard of Golden Gulp. The first one on the house. Wow. But it's gone. Empty tankard is actually gone too. But it's just, but he did get one, and he can't it's like one of the best ales around, and he's a goblin. He's in heaven. Why would he ever go back on you guys? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's like you can either be abused by like other races or like hang out with a bunch of adventurers who treat you well. Like heck yeah.
He could become an adventurer.
Well, I was just gonna say the DMPC is now officially a goblin. no,
I'd be
and
okay with that.
what you call it? The only
I'll
one who seems to
I'll
have
start I'll
any
start teaching about my faith and make him become a cleric.
the only one who has like any sort of reservation about it, but he hasn't like done anything is Warvel. Warvel's just not sure about
I want to
a dirty
more
goblin, right? He's just
like each.
it's racial.
Yeah.
He's just not.
Yeah. I got you.
He's just. Hey, you can see that gleam in his eye is there when he looks at the goblin. He's not trusting of that goblin at all. He's like, like
I
you
expect the
want
goblin doesn't trust him either.
the goblin honestly has like just different things on his mind.
Yeah.
He
Does the
came
goblin
here
does the goblin speak common, by the way?
poorly, but yeah. Very broken, but yeah.
Okay.
Very poorly, but he does.
All right. So we sleep and we go see negotiate with the mayor, and then we go negotiate with the giants, right?
Yeah, and you guys aren't 100% sure when, but he has a slightly better bow. Like he's a better bow than he had originally. Before he had like a very rough, typical goblin bow. Now he has something like you would have seen like one of the scouts using, like one of the archers on the wall. Right? He has something like that now. A more civilized looking bow. And he's eating, and he realizes that you guys are like, that you asked him a question, you're all kind of look at him expectantly, and he kind of stops chewing slowly, but his mouth is just full. Like he's still shoving food in it, and his mouth is bulging, and his eyes kind of look up, and he starts to chew slower, and he slowly stops chewing with his mouth full, and you see he, with a tilt of his chin and a crane of his neck, he somehow manages to swallow that large mouthful, and you can see it even go down his throat. It even looks somewhat painfully. And he swallows it, and he smacks his lips, and he says, somewhere, river cross, but, and he kind of looks painful. He says, and he shakes his head. And if Garl do you still have like the giant head with you, or did you leave them outside, or did you bring them in, or what?
Well, the one he had tied to his belt,
Yeah.
he's just dragging. He's moving probably about 7 feet around, dragging it since it's about as big as he is.
Mm-hmm.
And the other ones are wherever the other party members have took them or how they're carrying them. That's because I'm carrying about all I can.
I have a bag of holding.
Okay.
I don't think they'd fit. I still got to go in the.
No.
Could we have brought it back to the wagon?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
You could easily have thrown them in the wagon.
I guess they're both back in the wagon then, because that's easier.
Well, at least one of them. Garl said he has the other one tied to his belt still. So at least one of them is in the wagon. But yeah, if Garl's like, because I mean, you guys are in the tavern, so he just motions to Garl to the giant, and he says, they're not very smart.
No, they're not.
He says, when we left, there were many more.
Many more what? Many more goblins? Many more giants?
Yes. All.
Okay, both. Okay.
He says, but he motions to the head again. He says, very stupid.
Yeah, they are.
He says, empty as my cup.
Fill it up. Fill it up. Give them more beer.
He just grabs it and chugs it before he finishes even. And this little bugger can chug. He's like those speed pints, eh? He just can. As quick as you could dump it on the floor, he can drink it, right?
Have
he's
you
a
heard
goblin.
them? Have you heard them talk about she who eats all? Perhaps.
He says he nods. He nods. He says, "Gah!"
Oh, okay. There we go.
And he says, "Giants, more than." He wets his finger. And he dabs his wet finger. 1, 2, 3, 4. Wets his finger again. 5, 6, 7. Again. 8, 9. Dabs again. 10, 11. Thinks hard. Dabs his finger. 12. And he looks up at you.
$12.
He shrugs.
Maybe.
Not many, but what is this 12 you speak of? I know numbers not. Ogre, and then he wipes. He says, and he says a name,
Yeah.
like something. A lot of it sounds like a gibberish. Maybe the Michael might understand it. Maybe Garl. Maybe Cloud. That he's referring to the goblins or to the ogres. Sorry.
Okay.
And he says, and then he starts.
So it's doing the dab thing.
Doing the
again.
dabs, and holy shit, he must make like 30.
Okay. Lots of ogres.
And then he says, and his ears kind of go down when he says it, and he says, this is a word. And by his body language, you guys could all infer, even those who don't understand, he's referring to the bugbears. Again, gotta be like 30, 35. And then when
is this including the ones that we've killed, right?
he nods. And then he says, for the goblins, he takes one of the chicken bones, dips it in his mug, and just starts shaking it all over the table so it falls like droplets.
Oh, there's many goblins.
Yeah. And then he looks up at you. Actually, he puts the bone in his mouth and just bites it, like eats it. It's a chicken bone, right? So he just eats it off of like Silence's plate or whatever. He just grabs her chicken bone and just eats it after he's done with it. And you can see that he's there with like the plate moved aside and stuff, and you can see the table is just speckled with froth and foam from the ale that he's looking at you all. So you can tell by the sounds of it, when they left from wherever they left, they had like an army. Like they had like sounds like more than double of what.
Of what
Sounds
we've
like
seen.
at least 12 giants, at least 30 or ogres, at least that many bugbears, probably more like 50, and then goblins galore.
And Garl will say, we must free my subjects and my greennesses subjects.
This goblin, he looks totally different from like your goblins. Just saying.
So
Like they have like region. I figure they look different regionally, right? Even
Yep.
from the way they dress or
Forest
mark
goblins
themselves. Or...
versus rock goblins.
Yeah,
and such like
kind of.
that.
Yeah, kind of that, right? Kind of that.
so
It doesn't matter to Garl. They're all
No, I'm just saying though.
all going to be his subjects in his mind.
Yeah.
So let me know if I've got this right. There are 2 tribes of hill giants, and one tribe is scared of another tribe that has Gaul in it, right?
No, I think Gaul has taken over all the male hill giants, and that's what he's describing. The female hill giants, I don't know how many there are, but they're just kind of, fucked off and left. That's what I'm getting out of it. I don't know what happened to the female hill giants. Maybe we can enlist their aid. I don't know, maybe. But I don't trust them. That one was just like, oh, hungry, eating everything, and then tried to eat us. Fuck her. They're hill giants. You can't trust them.
Maybe we can.
He says maybe she crushed their heads and eat them.
Maybe.
Not my subjects, they won't. We will free them. We will drink a big skull of grog. Yes, grog from her skull. All of us goblins.
So it's decided we assassinate her and take
Yeah.
over her army.
Yeah. Yes.
I can conjure birds to get us flown in.
Oh, bats. Giant bats work wonderful for that.
There you get the vultures. Well, do we want to go at night? Bats would be good.
Well, we'd have to wait for a bit because I assume I did the divination the next morning because I didn't have forethought special after that point. So
it's a ritual.
Oh, it is. Well,
yeah.
We need to prepare the next morning anyway. But yeah.
Well, we need to talk to the abbot too.
Yeah.
Garl will say.
All right.
That way we have authority to be the avenging hand for my greenness and the diplomatic mouth and hand of golden fields.
All right, let's go talk to the abbot then.
Okay, I'm gonna go for a bio, but I just want to reiterate that he says when they left from where they left, they had an army.
Okay. So, does he remember? Does he know if they split off at one point and went somewhere else?
He shakes his head, no.
Okay.
And then he does that thing where he holds his hands out and you hook you hold your hands flat and you hook your thumbs to make like the butterfly thing, right? Or a bird, right? Something with wings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he flies it over top, and then he slams his hands down the table and smears the
ketchup
away. Smears the foam away off the table, eradicating it, wiping it away. And I'm gonna go use the washroom.
That flying there isn't the best thing.
Yeah.
So no fly.
Why?
We
It'd
can
be
definitely fly.
exciting to see.
Because if we try to walk there, we're gonna have to incur the wrath of the entire army. If we do it right, I can fly us in and fly us out.
Cool. Yeah, sounds good.
Stealth is our ally. That way we can come on in, assassinate her. It doesn't matter if she has a whole army. She follow me.
I concur with Garl. We should sneak in, not fly in. I mean, we can fly near there, but an aerial assault is going to be seen. Unless maybe we do it at night under a dark moon.
Night with bats.
Yeah, under a dark moon. Yeah, we could do it then.
I don't know about bats. They're infectious.
Yeah. We just don't
Don't fucking eat it. Well, it's gonna be your fault, not mine.
I mean, I may have mithril armor now, but my dexterity is still 10, so stealth's not my forte.
Silence has silence.
Hang on. Pretty sure it's in my thing. If Word would actually work with me. Open up. Oh, okay. Hang on. No, it just disappeared. Give me a moment. Why has it gone miniature?
I have fog coil, but that's like really,
No,
really.
if she has silence, we can just stay within 20 feet of her, and we'll make no sound.
Oh, I have stealth. I have the stealth spell.
It's part of that trace. Yeah.
I have stealth. Yeah, it's one of my feats.
No, that's a skill.
Everyone plus 10. Right?
Michael's talking about pass without a trace.
Yeah, I got that. We're good. We can sneak. We can sneak anywhere. I much prefer. I mean, granted, why couldn't we sneak on a bat? In the middle of the night with a dark moon.
We could sneak as bats. We could sneak as bats.
Not as bats, but riding giant bats.
So I can turn us into bats. We can ride bats. I can make us all just fly in general. But I think being on the back of an animal would be more.
But why waste the spell power? Let's just use my pass without trace and just.
I think we should still use that, but he said they have an army, and if we get routed even once, we're screwed.
I mean, if we want to risk it, I could use the pixie dust on all of us.
Yeah.
You keep your pixie dust to yourself. I've heard it's habit forming.
Oh, that's how we'll assassinate her. We'll like, here, try this pixie dust.
Well, the pixie dust, it's mostly good effects. The only bad one is confusion.
What are the other effects?
On a 91 to 100, the creature becomes invisible for 1 hour. 81 to 90, the creature makes a DC 11 Wisdom save, or they are affected by a confusion spell.
See, I told you it's habit forming. He's already jonesing for another fix.
On a 71 to 80, they must succeed a DC 11 con save or fall unconscious for a minute. They wake up if they take damage or are sick or start to wake. On a 1 to 70, they get a flying speed of 60 feet for 10 minutes.
I say we all take a hit.
Well, we all do drugs.
Yeah, and then we do the pass without trace, and then no matter what, it's a buff, right? If we're gonna walk in, I think that's our best option.
Yeah, I suggest we pass without trace. Just sneak in and try to avoid as much as possible.
Now, pass without trace, we have to stay within so much of the...
Stay within 30 feet. You just have to be within 30 feet when the spell is cast.
We'll do pass without trace, and then we'll do silence on top of that. Oh, we didn't have silence, huh? Damn.
I think I have silence, but I don't want to use silence unless there's spellcaster because, just the absence of noise sometimes makes people alert to something going on. Because that silence sounds like they'll be sitting there talking, so there'll be rocking, creaky noise, some banging, just some sort of ambient noise, and also we walk by and it goes away. Like,
especially if they have a blind guy with them.
Yeah. What the fuck's going on with this ambient noise? I'll use silence only if we have a caster.
Well, it's when people are like, I'll be like, hey, and they're like, well, how'd you know I came? Like, I walked up to you. It's like, well, what do you mean? I can hear you. I can hear your big fat ass. Or if nothing else, I can hear you blocking the sound, right? Like it changes the acoustics if something approaches.
Well,
Even if someone waves their hand in my face, especially if I'm talking or breathing, I can damn near see it. Right?
So, fly past the trace, then we go, right?
Well, I mean, I suggest we don't use a pass out trace till we're near.
All right, yeah.
I don't know how long it lasts, but but we can just be stealthy and at that point, hike out there. Garl, he's a ranger. He's a wood man.
Yeah.
He can lead us fairly stealthily up to the place, and when we come within sight of wherever the goblin says it is, then we pass it out trace and sneak in.
All right, suicide's the only option.
Find she who eats everything and slay her. Proclaim ourselves kings of the hill giants. Free the goblins. And
Yes.
all day have a parade with some of their fine
as the conquering party, Garl, as the conquering king, Garl should be the king of the hill giants.
But pass without trace is concentration or up to an hour.
Yeah, it's 1 hour.
Oh, it is concentration though?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So we just wait until we're near there. Sneak in, and then I can cast it multiple times if need to again. I was looking
for the duration, each creature you choose within 30 feet of you, including you, has a +10 bonus to dexterity checks and can be cracked except by magical means.
Yeah, so we're good.
Right. Cloud will take a pinch of fairy dust right after you pass that trace dust.
Okay.
Well, until we're there, until we're near there within sight of it.
Yeah. So we're doing the pixie dust thing. Okay.
Well, Cloud is. If anything, he's just going to look like he's walking on air.
All right, I'll mark up another use then.
All right, better plan. We all turn into flying bears and just scare the shit out of the army.
That's not a bad plan either. I like that.
It's
not a bad plan.
Heck, some of us might turn to invisible bears.
That's even scarier. They'll have a bear that just flies over, and then for some reason you get hit.
Yeah. So we're talking to the abbot, right?
Before we go, yeah. But we'll want to make sure we get something that from them that says we have authority to negotiate.
Yeah. I got you.
I think we're just looking to establish payment for our services once rendered. Because authority or now, we're still going, right?
Yeah.
Okay. What are you guys doing? Step 1. The goblin's told you his story. What are you guys doing?
Step 2, we're going to go talk to the abbot.
Okay. In fact, because it was dawn and then you guys rested, you guys ate. In fact, boom, 1 o'clock service.
Okay.
How's that for timing?
Cool. So we'll go to the service, wait for it to be over, and then have a 1-to-1 with her.
Okay, you guys go outside of the North Furrow's End. You guys depart the elaborate doors between those two statues of rearing horses down the steps where you Tasha's hideous, the ogre, and had killed him the previous night. There's still like blood in the soil. You make your way across the courtyard. Golden Fields is like up and at them, like it's hustle and bustle. Even again in the morning now, you can tell like, holy shit, has there ever a lot of harvest come in? There's laden wagons everywhere, carts everywhere, and the fields are just looking more and more barren every day. The only thing that's still fully active is like the animal pens and orchards. The kids you could hear them out laughing and running around with the baskets way out in the orchard. You make your way across the courtyard to the temple. Like I said, the big fancy stone temple of Shantea, multi-level. It's got the huge bell at top, which you still feel ringing in the air. Go up the steps. The big doors are open. There are acolytes outside. A couple acolytes greeting people as they enter. There's not a whole lot of people that come in for service. Beautiful stained glass windows with like wheat sheaves and cornucopia. Everywhere there's carvings of Shantea with her hands to the sky as if trying to provoke rain. Beautiful building. Beautiful. And yeah, like not a whole lot of people. You guys are walking through the main lobby and going into like the chapel. And just as you're kind of going into like the chapel area, you guys see that walking past the doors, you could see two brown bears that just walk past the door inside the chapel. And there's maybe only about like 20 commoners in here for the service. And you guys come in. The bears just kind of look at you guys and sniff the air. One sits down, the other one just keeps walking. And the abbot gives his sermon. It's brief. By the time all is said and done, it's really like at most 20 minutes. But that's it. It's short and it's sweet. It talks about bounty, and he does acknowledge you guys out there at the back. I assume you're sitting at the back.
Woo!
He acknowledges you guys for again
Heroes of British and
how
Slayers of Giants.
Exactly how Shantea provided once again by providing us heroes once they needed it. After the sermon is done, like I said, 20 minutes and all, and that's like everything. Like, people are handshaking you guys, thanking you guys. Cloud, the two brown bears are like brown bears, and they're like totally non-hostile. Like you could see, like even like, kids aren't even afraid to like feed them something.
So, are they flying, fire-breathing bears? Would they?
Not that you can tell. Not currently. Not at this moment.
Can Cloud tell if they're transformed druids?
If he told me how he was attempting it, yeah.
Ooh, I would write something in Druidic with my claw nonchalantly on the floor and see if they responded.
He sniffs where your finger was. No. Seems like a bear. It really, really does.
Well, unfortunately, I wrote sniff this if you're a druid, so.
Oh! There you go!
Definitely a druid.
Yeah, touch this with your nose. And there you go. That's what you want, because that's what it just sniffs where you traced your finger. And snorts a little bit. Looks up at you. Kind of waiting to see if you're either going to give it scritches or a snack.
Just lean in. Your secret's safe with me. Give him a berry.
Okay. It'll eat it.
I
And
mean,
you could tell that the bears are like a nice healthy weight, like and over. You could tell they eat lots. They look even well groomed.
Yeah, this is what druids do on our off time when we're not adventuring.
The abbot, eventually he
yeah,
makes his way.
That's your,
He's done
that's your
shaking
downtime
hands.
activity.
You guys are shaking hands. He's shaking hands. Eventually, all the most people go back to work. Some of the acolytes, they go up and they prepare the altar and for the next thing. And I think it's not. I think it's 6 p.m. is the next one. And the abbot finally makes his way over to you. You guys are still standing in the chapel, just kind of in the aisle near the doors. That's the bear does with that. He kind of comes over and he chuckles. He says, "Oh, these two, they're always looking for either scritches or a snack, but at least they don't get bossy." And he pets one of them on the head. And it makes a low, just a groan of pleasure. And he says, I'm the abbot. What's his face? Fuck.
Nice to meet you. What's his face?
What? Yeah. And yeah, he says, I don't remember his name right now. I don't feel like looking at him. Sorry. Just the abbot. He's just
It's
the
cool.
abbot.
We'll just call him what's his face.
Not abbot. He says, I personally wanted to thank you for helping to protect Golden Fields. He says, as you may have heard, we suffered an attack about a month and a half ago. He says, I was fearing that they would return. Yeah. I don't know.
I think they will return, and next time probably better organized and in stronger numbers. Maybe with some freaking ladders so that they get over the wall. Maybe some ropes. I really feel that we need to nip this in the bud. But at the same time, we were wondering, since you produce so much, you have so much in storage, and that food is nothing to you, since that was apparently the reason for their raiding, if we would mind if we arranged a treaty with the Hill Giant that you would supply them with so much food, enough for them, since Shantae's bounty is overflowing, and in exchange, they could either a couple of them come over and help plow. Let's face it, they could plow easily, or maybe even patrol the outskirts outside the wall to make sure nobody else assaults you, since Hill Giants would be most excellent for that. We were just curious if we can make that treaty for you. And I might also add that we have checked with some crappy storm god over there to determine, and he said that the fear of she who eats everything would prevent them from engaging in diplomacy. So most likely what we're going to do is we're going to sneak into her castle, slay her, take over rulership of the Hill Giants instead, and make this treaty. Would you be okay with this? Would you be amenable to this?
He says, if it could assure the safety of like Golden Fields and everything you have to offer, because it is like the breadbasket of the realms. He says, I would certainly be willing to negotiate any sort of bargain that would keep everyone safe. He says,
Okay.
but I'm just not so sure about negotiate with hill giants, but whatever. If that's
Yeah,
what you
tried
guys
to
want to
work with-
use, is like, yeah. He says, I
tried to
can't
work-
guarantee anything right now other than my willingness to negotiate.
Okay. So we did try to negotiate with a hill giant on our way here, a female hill giant who was complaining about Gaw took all the men. We're assuming at the moment, I'm going under the premise that Gaw is she who eats everything, since they were male hill giants who attacked here. As you can see from their decapitated heads we have on our cart over there, that, by the way, the sheriff shows us 200 gold pieces for. But that's beside the point. So I'm wondering of their ability to negotiate. I'm assuming that even if we do take out Gaul, these things may not go well. So because hill giants are, too dumb, especially according to Gabo over here. He's a good guy, by the way. They don't lack the mental capacity to negotiate or even hold to a negotiation once we do make it. Like, they agree, and then they go and they fucking do it anyway because they are a giant. They don't understand that they just agreed that they wouldn't attack you. So it may wind up coming to fisticuffs. But fear not, we are the heroes of Bryn Shander, giant slayers. I slayed Truthie myself. And, we Zintar Keep thing, Asatar Keep, ran off some giants there. We protected some giants from Fire Shear. We protected numerous places. Like, giants are a thing. We even cleared the road to here from Waterdeep by chasing off said female hill giant. We fear not. We're good. We're badass. And Gnarl over here's a king of goblins, so he's going to help free his people too.
Well, he smiled and he says, like, well, as I said in my sermon, Shantae has provided once again.
Yeah.
When we're in
And
need.
I was just wondering, what should Shantae be, providing us with something for these services we're willing to do for you? For negotiation purposes, why don't you talk to our negotiator, our accountant, Silence here, to handle the details of such things, while I go drink some beer that Shantae is blessed with the bounty of her barley and oats, hops, and yeast that Bacchus made better. Silent. Your go.
Right, throw me in the deep end, okay?
He says, like, he's like a nice, friendly smile the whole time. And his smile drops from his face, not with anger, not with rage, just with seriousness. He says, if you heroes can come to the heart of this matter that's set all the giants into upheaval, he says, the entire Sword Coast in the north would be grateful. He says, I couldn't offer you anything that you would deserve. You, I think, would be recognized by the Lord's Alliance and by any of the civilized city-states or nations in the north.
Could I drink at the Golden Gulp for free from now on?
His smile appears back. He says, that's not for my sake. You would have to make a bargain with. And he says, but, he says, did you receive your reward from Strog for the
Not
two
yet.
giants?
Not
Gonna go past him.
He says, I'll send him your way once I see him on his rounds. But he says, I assure you, we'll make sure that you get paid the agreed amount.
Oh, thank you very much. Most kind of you.
Thank you.
And really, I would appreciate if you look into that, like free beer at the Golden Gulp for life thing. I'm sure you could use your sway for that a little bit.
He says, well,
Carl will say that, I could always use a mount such as one of these bears here to ride as a regal king to show my power.
he looks at the bears, he says, shrugs, he says, they're not mine to give away.
Oh, that'd
Yeah,
be
They
cool.
simply are.
If we gave her like 1,000 gold piece diamond or whatever it is that requires for the awakened animal, that'd be cool.
He says,
Uh,
the abbot
Oh, what
says,
level are we?
the abbot says these emotions to them, he says, they were found last spring in the fields, and no one could figure out how they would have gotten into the walls. So, but then eventually they just made their way here, and they don't bother anyone. And he says, many say that they are a gift or an omen from Shantea.
Well, it doesn't have to be these bears, but it would be a bear similar and trained where it won't eat me to ride in the battle with, Garl would say.
we could find a bear somewhere, and you could train it yourself.
What
Yeah,
level are
please.
we? I think I get awakening next level anyways.
But that's just
Awesome.
Garl's little shtick to have him thinking about for recompense for doing great deeds.
He says, I'm sure if you do need steeds or such, or draft animals, that could be provided. But we do have like horses and oxen, ponies.
But nothing is woolly and comfortable and warm such as one of these great bears with their warm coat.
They're not mine to give.
And
We
I
don't.
personally understand that. That's just that's what Garl's kind of going for. Not those particular, but maybe another or the favor such a fine one or something. He'll buy.
When you're talking, you're kind of hand motioning. Your kind of body language is directed towards the bear, so the bear actually kind of looks at you and yawns and licks its lips.
Okay. And Garl will take about 2.5 steps back behind something for cover. Sucker's licking his lips. He's looking to eat me.
Yeah, that's all he says. He says honestly, he says like the bears just came
I
here.
don't-
He says he says I haven't even inquired about it. He says the mystery is worth it.
Yeah.
But he thanks you guys for like attending his sermon, and if there's any other way that he can help you, he will he'll send Strog to you guys so that you guys can get paid. And
All right, that sounds good to me. Let's go assassinate a Helldragon Queen.
Oh boy, boy, oh boy.
so let's say you guys go back to the inn just to gather your belongings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys come down out of your room. When you guys come down into your rooms and you guys are coming down the stairs, you could see that Strog is indeed there. He's leaning on the bar with his big county sheriff gut, leaning against the bar, talking to the bartender, and they're just small talk or whatever. And when the half orc marshal or sheriff is like leaning there with his legs kind of crossed with his elbow on the bar. When you guys come down the stairs, he notices you. He stands up and looks a little bit more official. Eventually, then saunters over to y'all, and he's like, well, and he takes a small bag off of his belt and he hoists it up, and he hands it to first one who will grab it.
Yeah, I'll take it.
And you can hear the metallic clack of trade bars.
Okay.
And he says, here's your pay for the 2 heads.
Sounds light.
He's like, I guess I'll have to get more men and change the patrols.
No, I didn't see you last night. Where were you?
He says, by the time I got my men organized and distributed out, we had to go put out a couple incidents that happened near some longhouses. But I'll have to change the patrols and keep a eye out.
Well, I do recommend the patrols. I'll say don't fret too much over it for too long because we're going to be on it. We're going to be taking care of it. And we're just wondering, your bounty still holds, right?
Well, I don't know. Our jurisdiction doesn't lie outside these walls.
Well, apparently neither does where the hill giants came from that assaulted your town either, but, you know, they do.
Well, I don't know about that. And he rubs the stubble on his chin. He's like, all right.
Well, should we head out and see if you can add the head of another hill giant, another giant queen to your list of accomplishments, Nicodemus?
I don't know, Slayer of Gods doesn't seem so cool. I may use her title as She Who Devours Everything. She got choked.
That would sound like a better story, don't you think, Silence?
She got choked on my
yeah.
barrel of wine.
Yeah, make a good verse in your song, don't you think? Nicodemus, Slayer of Giants.
I definitely say so.
I'm sure Nick would say
So,
so.
where's the plan? We waiting tonight and then flying out, or what?
I vote for night, Darrell would say. The cover of darkness for a dark act.
It's a dark night. Anybody? Dust Till Dawn. It's a dark night. No? Okay.
Just because, I don't know why, because Michael gave a little tangent, it reminded my head. I watched a YouTube video, a really good one, about some fans of Dukes of Hazzard.
I love Dukes of Hazzard.
And they went. What these guys would do is, like, they build their replica cars, and they would actually go to Georgia and tear around on the roads out there and just play Dukes of Hazzard.
Awesome.
And the guy was saying that right up until, like, the early 2000s, he says it still looked identical as it did on the TV show. Like things had not changed at all.
Dirt roads?
Yeah.
Wow.
He said it was like things didn't change at all from the series to like,
No, they didn't
modern
film
day.
that in Georgia.
Well, the first 5 episodes.
Oh.
And one day they're tearing around, and a guy's like, oh yeah, there's like a guy who like he's like basically a junk man, and he got a whole bunch of their cars a long time ago. And they're like, what? So the guy gave him directions to this junk man. No, this is the best part. It was some road, and the American government did an experiment with nuclear-powered train locomotives. And decided it wasn't safe. So the prototype is buried in Georgia. And literally this junk man, it's like the end of the road is where they buried the locomotives, and that's where he has his junkyard. And it's not a junkyard, not an open, it's like in the bush. So he's, there's like trees everywhere and hills, and there's just cars in the bush, and trees growing up through them, and pine needles on everything, and eventually they're like, oh yeah, they're like, I heard you got some Dukes of Hazzard cars, and he's like, oh, you mean that old Charger?
Yeah.
And they go, and it's a wrecked green Charger. Do you know what I'm talking about, Michael?
Green?
Yeah.
No.
And one of like episode 2, I think it is, or they're supposed to be like, because they're not like they're stock car drivers, right? That's why. There's in the show they needed a wrecked stock car, so they took one of the cars that they had wrecked.
Yeah.
And they just painted it green and put different numbers on it.
Oh. Okay.
And it was supposed to be like, whatever, like, fucking Bobby Duke's race car or whatever, right? In the script. Wrecked race car. Anyways, they go and they start peeling paint, and they're like, it's General Lee. They look, it was General Lee number 1.
Oh, wow. That was the first General Lee.
Yeah. The first General Lee they wrecked, they like painted it green for like the next episode because they needed a wrecked race car. Yeah. So they're just, let's just paint this wreck a different color, and there you go.
Well, they wrecked a lot, from what I heard. That's why
320.
Okay.
Is the best guess.
Cheap and plentiful.
They had a budget of $1,600 per vehicle. That's not just to purchase it; that's to make it into a General Lee. So they were ugly. They were done poorly. Like this one, number 1, the numbers are on crooked. Because you only saw it for the fly and the landing, right? You only saw it for the jump, really. Like, yeah. Amazing, though. I just thought it was really cool. But I was blown away by the part there's like a radioactive fucking locomotive buried in a fucking road in Georgia. That sounds
about right.
That sounds pretty fucking steampunk to me.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's my little tangent, but I thought it was just amazing. And they were talking about how all the differences. Like if you watch, like every car's different, right? You can tell some of them have like the big bumper, some of the small bumper. Some they're supposed to be 69s. A lot of them are 68s converted to look like a 69.
I wouldn't be able to tell the difference. I'm not a car guy.
Some of them is clear. It's like what is it? Like a couple of them have like the chrome rocker panels. Most of them don't. And yeah, and like literally, they had $1,600 budget to buy the car and to get it running, like to make it look like a General Lee. So they would just fucking slop the orange paint on it and put the decals on it. And like sometimes the roll bar, they said like a lot of times the roll bar was just like a piece of pipe that they just had held into the roof panel with like wire, like just so you would see it on the camera, but it wasn't. And they had everything. Like, oh, what kind of engine was in the General Lee? It depends. Depends on what they had. Could have been everything from a 318 to a 440. But the sound, and all the General Lees were all automatic transmissions. And if you listen, you can they're manual transmissions when they're driving, because the sound effects that they used were purchased are the same sound effects for Bullet. It's a 440 manual transmission. It's the same sound effects. They just use the Bullet car sounds that the studio used.
So it's just stealth mission.
Stealth mission.
Yes.
Ooh.
So explain.
How are we going to stuff our way over? I say turn into bats would be best because they would not expect bats.
Well, we
Yeah, but explain. Are you guys like turning into bats here at the like? I don't.
That's
like,
what we're discussing.
Like,
I say we fly close,
Fly close.
then get out and individually move about whichever way we think is best with the after having pass without trace cast and sneak
One
out,
firm with sight.
and then that gives us an hour to try to sneak in, do our duty, and sneak out.
And I can always do it again.
All right, I'm gonna make sure I have some other advances spells because all of my storm clerk spells are fucking loud.
Have we leveled up?
Nope, we're still level.
Nope, we're level 7.
Ay, ay, ay.
Absolutely. So that is important. Because I can just tell you right now, I can't take too many hits from a hill giant. I'm able to take 3, maybe 3, and I'm down. So like 2 rounds hand to hand with the hill giant. That's all I can last.
Yeah, we gotta be quick about this and then fuck it and then get the hell out.
Yep. Do we have anything that will quickly kill her? No, we seriously need to think about this.
So my bow says Garl.
Okay.
Just as long as we can hit her enough. I mean, if I could do my call lightning, I could do a heck of more damage to her, but that would be.
Which by that time maybe we won't mind drawing attention. I don't know. We'll see. Once we get to her. I just don't want to knock on the front door then be like, boom, baby.
Yeah,
that'll be ridiculous.
No pass without trace.
If we can get to her and do and kill her quickly and get out, that's our best bet, I think.
Yeah, I concur.
Yeah.
So I can certainly do call lightning and do 80 damage in 2 turns.
No, call lightning should be a last resort
Yeah.
because she's got an army behind her.
So what's going to be our first resort?
Casting silence on her
Our army.
so that no one can hear her cries for help.
Good point. I have silence as a spell.
You better.
I do have silence.
Spell stop like thunder waves and stuff like that. Like boom, but no.
It will, yeah. So no shatter, no thunder wave, nothing that causes sound we won't be able to use.
No thunder
So
damage.
does the silence negate thunder damage? Is what I'm asking.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure
Yes.
would. For sure would.
I got
Alright,
silence, hypnotic
damage.
pattern, bestow curse.
So that means that would
major
mean
image,
no.
confusion.
Yeah.
Can't use Tasha's hideous laughter. Dissonant whispers I could use, and sleep. I've got that sleep.
I
It's effective against goblins. That's about it, though.
Yeah. Yes, I do have silence as a spell.
Does anyone have suggestions?
Yes, but it's DC 10.
Well, that should be our first plan before we ever attack her. Hey, you're a good person
Yes.
now, and you want to help everyone. Tell your army.
For an hour.
Well, then we assassinate her.
Okay, that could work. If
No, all
if
right,
you-
let's just silence her and then bum rush her with everything we have physically. I could summon a bunch of wolves. We'll probably be able to knock her prone and just jump on her.
Okay. So wolves, and then just bum rush her and try and kill her with everything.
I can do 8 wolves. I can turn into a bear and hold her in melee range and try to keep her locked. The rest of you can fire ranged attacks.
And
Anything that's not
worst
thunder
comes to
damage will
worst,
still
worst
work.
comes to worst, I can do my call lightning.
Yeah, call lightning and then we run.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this could work.
But
It's
if we
gonna be
can-
a close thing, but I think we can do it.
If we can kill her before anyone finds out, I think we can sway the army. But if they walk in on us murdering her, it's going to be a different story. We might just have to leave and let them disperse.
Well, let's have a backup plan here. Nicodemus, can you write a letter in not goblin, and giant? I can't speak or write giant. And say, this is in payment to being unfaithful to the storm giants. We will destroy all, just like this queen has died.
Okay.
And then we can plant that there to cover our tracks once we're successful and cause internal strife in the Orlum.
How about instead of storm giants, we do stone giants? Because they would be closer and thus more a likely scenario that stone giants have,
And
Yeah.
Carl will say, yeah, okay, that sounds good. That sounds good. I mean,
Yeah.
Garl's not extremely intelligent. He's a little bit wise. So he was just looking for the biggest, baddest individual out there to put the
Yeah.
blame on. But yeah, stone giant sound good. That'll work.
Let's do it.
He is a little bit more intelligent than I thought. Looking here, but yeah, stone giants closer. That works. Get them fighting, and then maybe we can get the others fighting. Yeah. Divide and conquer.
Yeah, that way. Yeah, I like that. We blame it on the stone giants. So I'll even use stone giant dialect. Whatever.
Yeah, let's do it.
Maybe we should like a blanket or a sheep or something, like a really large sheepskin to ride it on or something. I don't know, like what?
Oh yeah, There'd be like
Sometimes.
Valium or whatever, yeah.
Ah,
They would use a really big piece. I mean, I want a really big piece.
Garl will say, hold on. Let me go out into the fields. I'll skin one of the ones of the giants that are in the field, their back, and we can write it on the back. And put even more oomph to the effect.
Turns into a spell scroll.
All right, sounds good.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell me what happens. I don't want to narrate. Like,
So
Wait, we're going to turn into bats?
write. Do we know who the leader of the Storm Giants in this area is? Because the Hell Giants might know that. So
No, but I mean, okay. So Garl goes out and attempts to skin a cow?
no, he
he
takes
was
the
gonna
skin
skin
off.
the back of one of the dead giants there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that works wonderful.
You can, but it's gonna be like a, cured skin unless you're gonna take the time. So it's gonna I mean, it's already started to decay from the night, right?
Yeah.
Tell it's
You're gonna have to cure it if we're.
there's already fly ridden, especially you guys have severed the heads and there's gore and it's
but that just makes the impact better that it's a fresh kill.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well that's
Yeah.
but yeah, you can remove, especially you might need some help to help pull it back, but
oh yeah, that's a lot of
enough.
area.
Yeah, even if you guys have to get like someone with a horse or whatever to well that's
Put some pixie dust on it and make it fly.
yeah, because you know how I mean that's even like a hog plant, right? It used to be you could they'd clean the hog. Well, now they just fucking make a slit, put hooks in it, and they just peel it like a fucking inside out, like a fucking taking a sock off. And that's for a pig you need machinery to do it. So yeah, you guys would have to get you could cut it and you can connect the connective tissue and then get horses and get ropes, and as they're pulling,
He is a ranger.
you're going along trimming. What's that, Michael?
He is a ranger. He should know how to do it. Now, granted, he's small. He'll need help.
Yeah.
He'll need help.
Oh no, he can do it, but yeah, I'm just saying it's literally just the physical strength to pull it back. That's their skin isn't like our skin. It's like more than an inch thick. And as it's being pulled back, and it is like the back, so I would say that it would be like 6 feet. Yeah, I'd say a good 6 feet by 8 feet, kind of.
Works for me.
No.
We can put big letters on there just like a giant would write.
Yeah, you can do it in the giant runes. You guys could roll it up into a cloth or something too before putting it into the bag of holding. I don't know. However you guys are doing it. As I said, I don't want to narrate. You guys tell me.
Yeah, it's definitely.
You guys paint a picture for me now of what you guys are doing.
So we're scanning the Hell Giant. We're scanning the back of the Hell Giant. We're writing a note to the Hell Giants from the Storm Giants saying like to kind of cover our tracks if something goes wrong.
I'm gonna take the time to cover myself in Giant's blood so I don't smell like a bird.
Easy.
Okay.
Yeah, easy. There's enough blood and gore and yeah. And no, I mean you don't smell nothing. You're gonna be a week from now. You'll still be like, oh, damn! I still get a whiff of that giant once in a while.
And then I'm guessing we
Flies are
tonight
everywhere.
we polymorph into bats, and then we fly off to the giant camp to assassinate the soul giant.
You can be up to like a CR8, so have fun. Or would it be 6? Whatever
Well,
level.
they're
you
7th
want.
level.
Be a CR7.
We're 7th level, so.
Have fun with that.
So you guys are gonna leave your horse and wagon behind,
Yeah.
That'll be safer, yeah.
and Warble and the goblin.
I can polymorph up to 8 things, so whatever you guys feel like.
I mean, those two would only be able to go out to like our CR, but we could take him.
Goblin, because he's our guy.
Why don't we leave the goblin and Warble
We're not leaving the goblin. He's our guy to get there.
to guard our horse and wagon and stuff.
But
Hey, if one of you guys is
is
a giant something, he could ride on you guys. You'll need to be medium for him to ride on you.
true.
I have to polymorph, so I mean, I guess I could carry him.
Well, technically, you're Eric Croker medium. Technically, he could ride you.
So I could carry him, but that might be bad for our incognito-ness. He has to come with us because he's our
Well,
guy.
I'm just literally, I'm saying, like, as the mount rules go, right? Am I
Yeah.
not wrong? That as long as
they'll
it's like
see
one
the Eric
size
Crawford
larger.
is on the city walls, they'll know something's up. So he's just gonna have to polymorph too.
The eagles are coming.
And how long does this last?
Polymorph's an hour.
Okay. What's the speed you guys are traveling at?
If we dashed, it would be 60.
No, what kind of creature? What's this flying speed?
It depends on what they want to do. The time of day. If we're doing night or we're doing day.
Night.
No,
More
yeah.
bats. And bats have
Night.
a fly speed of 30.
A giant bat has a flying speed of 30?
I'd have to check on a giant bat.
I don't see giant bat in this, but I might just be missing it. Oh, there we go.
Bat, common, giant.
Bat, 5 speed. Giant bat, 5 speed, 60 feet.
Damn, yep. 10 feet walking, 60
And
feet.
we have wide sight.
We have echolocation. And we have keen hearing. So advance on wisdom, we have blind sight in, as long as we're not deafened.
All right.
All right.
Okay.
Before heading out, the only thing that Garl's going to do, once all that's arranged and we're going like that, Garl's going to cast non-detection on himself.
All right.
Okay.
Let's go.
So you guys have a flying speed of
60 feet.
That's means you guys could travel 6 miles in an hour. If you guys want to travel at a fast pace, then it's a third more. So you could travel 8 miles.
Okay.
You guys travel for 8 miles into the Forlorn Hills. it's very rocky. It's very like even you guys are looking. It's hard even to follow the trail of giants because it's so rocky and barren. Now you know why it's called the Forlorn Hills.
Carl's loving it. Rocks? Oh, yeah.
When the spell is wearing off and you guys land, you guys can see that, like, I mean, there's like rocky outcroppings and ledges and boulders and gravel. And rough, hilly terrain. It's very barren, even for plants. There's only like little tiny vegetation growing out of rocks here and there, or some lichen or whatever, but it's very sparse. But you still don't see no camp. It looks like that you could just, you guys landed Garl, like, in fact, here, let's do it. Roll me a survival, Garl.
All right.
Wisdom survival.
All right. My survival. That's a decent one for him. That will be a 22.
You can see that it appears that they continued on, still east.
And Garl will kind of whistle like a nightingale to get their attention. And then he's going to
And it is nighttime.
move his hand forward and point towards the east, the direction that they were going. And Garl will try to stay about 15 feet in front of them, checking trail every 10 minutes to make sure he doesn't drift.
Okay. Like I said, it is nighttime. The moon is almost full. It's just kind of just beginning to wane, right? It was like full just yesterday or whatever, so it's still very bright. But all the hills and the rocky outcroppings and shit like that are making lots of dark shadows. So, so don't be surprised if vision does become an issue. And so far, as I said, the moon is still very bright, but with all the rocky outcroppings and ledges and stuff like that, there are inky black shadows still everywhere. And
Sorry, I dropped out there. Did we fight in the camp?
Not yet.
They went into the Forlorn Hills. You guys followed them out. The trail continues to go after the 8 miles you guys are able to travel as big bats. Like, Garl, when you guys landed, Garl looked for the trail. You guys are following the trail. It's
okay,
dark.
Cool.
Again, I don't know. I'm not narrating. I don't know what you want me to do.
What?
You guys are going. You guys are traveling. You guys are what? Like,
yeah.
We want to keep following the trail.
I was staying 15 feet in front of them and checking the trail every 10 minutes to make sure I don't drift off track. As far as that, so looking about in the night and looking at the shale and the rocks to see if they've been scuffed and turned on over, sniffing the air for the scent of the of the bugbears and the ogres and the giants there that were going to try using all that to try to stay on track was what Garl would be doing.
Garl looks very silly to you guys when he stops and is sniffing the air. It looks like absurd. Like, it's just a ridiculous thing to you guys.
And I think as long as I stay 15 feet in front of them, I can travel at my normal speed and stealth or such. But I didn't. That's stealth. I'm thinking of something else. All right, survival checks. Okay, no, but I'm moving at half. I think it's half speed for me to track like that. So for me.
Silence.
Yep.
You can't help it. You're kind of like thinking about like how silly like Garl looks to you, and you're kind of looking. You're like, am I the only one? And when you look at Nicodemus, the look on his face, you actually snicker. You actually giggle. Like
I have been.
just the look on, like the reaction look on Nicodemus's face is enough to make you laugh.
Okay, so I'm laughing. Hello?
Hello?
Yep. Hey.
Oh, sorry, I thought it disappeared.
No, it seems like everybody's getting quiet.
Yeah.
I think we're just continuing to follow this trail, right?
Basically.
Nicodemus, you're kind of like, why are you laughing at me? And then when Fire Eyes like, hey, let's get going, her
Are
seriousness
you
just
laughing at me? Are you talking to me? I don't
like
see
her
nobody else talking to
seriousness.
me.
Her seriousness is enough to make you laugh. Like,
Okay, there's something weird going on here.
Is?
Oh, damn it.
Yeah, you want to know what's weird around here? Your face.
that is hilarious. Garl, you hear it too? That is like one of the best jokes you've ever heard.
Garl will turn around and go, shh.
And you hear shh, 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 echo off the.
Well, so's your face, Carl.
Silence.
We're not going to make it there.
You snort with laughter.
Can I make a roll here? It feels like there's something weird going on here.
What, a perception roll?
Yeah, perception or investigation or whichever one sounds reasonable here.
Sure. Other one, tell me. You tell me what you're rolling.
I'll go for perception because my wisdom's higher.
Okay. Roll. It's dark out. So disadvantage.
22. 16 because of disadvantage.
Okay, one of the rocks nearby you, like a boulder about the size of like, a small car, is smiling at you. You could see that it looks like it has like If you look at it right, it could be a face smiling. But not a human face.
How close is it?
Pardon me?
How close is the rock?
Well, it's just like 10 feet away or whatever.
All right. I'm gonna throw the dead on it.
Okay.
Does it work?
No, it's a rock.
Okay. Okay, this is weird.
You'll hear Garl go. Sniffing in the air.
You smell something dead.
Garl will turn his head in the direction where the strongest part of the odor is coming from.
Do we want to risk some more light?
You got a boulder you can check, or you can go follow the smell.
Garl will follow the smell.
Okay, you start to follow the smell.
Yeah.
And
I'm keeping following golf for now, because.
Girl, you don't have to go very far. Like,
Okay.
you know, between 30 and 60 feet, kind of. You just, you know, again, rocky hills, rocky outcroppings. You know, sometimes your feet kind of slip on the shale. You come around, and you can see, and where there's like, I'm trying to think of how to explain it. In like the fairly monochromatic, like, you know, grays of the stone around you, there's an area where you could see what at first you almost think is like lines of white stone, but you recognize it quickly as like vertebrae and even ribs kind of lined up, right?
Okay.
As if creatures died and then desiccated so much that that's all that's really left is like the backbone and parts of the ribs. But there's still a smell, so you know it's not old. And when you go and you look, you can see that there is like scum, and you could roll me like an investigation.
All right.
Or yeah, investigation is appropriate.
All right. That's an 18 on the dice, and his investigation, that gives him a 19.
There is like 3 of these things here, and you could tell that they would be appropriate for the size of ogres. And you could tell it's like vertebrae of ogres and remnants of the ribs and skull and pelvis, but it looks like that they've been melted with acid. And you could see where like the you know, like the scum and the sludge has like ran and leaked, and all that really is left is the big bones.
Okay.
Of like the pelvis, the spine, and part of the skull. The teeth, some teeth.
Garl will holler out, actually holler out. Watch out! We have rock trolls here eating things.
You guys hear Garl shout that. Ryan.
Yeah.
That rock, Garl wanders off. You kind of look at the rock, and you kind of rub your hand against it and go around. And you could see that it's like very reminiscent of like a dragon face on this rock. But you can't figure out. It's like clearly it's good enough where it's recognizable, but yet it looks like natural erosion. has formed this
Okay.
smiling dragon face.
You're a rock gnome. I'll ask you when I need the check price line.
And does it feel like rock? Like when I
Yep.
touch it, does it feel like
Yep.
rock?
Like I said, it's just like one of the boulders here naturally eroded into like this smiling dragon face.
That's weird. Well, I think we just keep going. All right. Unless something is going to leap and attack us here, we should probably just keep going.
Far Eye's voice cracks, which sounds hilarious to Nicodemus in silence.
Would you stop laughing at me?
But you kind of find the humor in it. You realize why it sounded so funny when you talk again. Your voice sounds funny to you. You laugh.
I would not be surprised if there's laughing gas around.
Is that something you entertainers used to try to boost your crowd appeal?
Oh, the poor ones, yes.
I think we got to get out of this area, guys.
Garl's going to look up from where he's at, where the three skeletal remains are.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going to look up 150 feet from where he's at and try and, between that point where he's at and that 150 feet, assess the terrain that's there. Is it still just all rock?
You see, yeah, it's all rock, and up on a high rocky ledge, you could see what appears to be a dragon looking down at you guys, just sitting way up there, like exactly about 150 feet
Right.
up, way up on a ledge, just sitting up there looking
wait.
down at all of you.
Like,
And I'm going to go to the washroom and get a coffee.
fuck.
Yeah.
This has got to be an illusion, right?
I don't know. Does it?
We didn't find out if she who devours all is a giant, did we? Or it could be a dragon.
They said it was Gar, and I believe the hill giant said Gar was a hill giant, right?
We didn't.
Yes, but did they specifically
No,
say
they
that?
never said Gaul was a hill giant.
No.
one ever said Gaul was a hill giant. I suspect Gaul is not a hill giant.
And we never asked.
Yeah. Well, it could be a dragon, though, but hill giants and dragons are mortal. Giants and dragons are mortal enemies. So.
And why would a dragon take a giant as a consort? That's doesn't quite match.
Who says it's as a consort as much as it is as a food pantry?
Still, I think do we think this is hill giants or this is a mutual arrangement, or I don't know.
I'm just finding the fact that that whale's randomly laughing, well, sort of randomly laughing, rather suspicious.
There's not a laughing gas breath weapon dragon, is there?
Not that I know, and I'm pretty sure if it was a spell, it would be similar to Tasha's hideous laughter.
No,
I'm thinking it has more to do with stone giants and their dream state thing. Just a guess, but we're going through stony area. Seems like stone giants and they're dreaming. Someone's dreaming a comedy. Somebody's dreaming, I don't know. I think it's got something to do with that. Just a guess. I don't really know.
Well, I don't know about that, so
There was
we'll
Stone
see.
Giant Dreamer that could cause things to happen outside in Bolo's Guide to Monsters. That's all I could tell you about it. I don't remember exactly the specifics of what it could do, but there was something like that. They also had like a fire giant thing that had like 2 giant fucking shields and some sort of special frost.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so I'm feeling
I
the
know what
Stone
you mean.
Giant Dreamer.
I know what you mean. I haven't read it, but I've heard of those.
Yeah. It's been so long, and even then I didn't look at it much, but this is what I'm guessing. So I don't really, I can't tell you what it does. Like back when I was in high school, I could like break down how many hit dice it had, number of appearing, 35% of the armed with javelins, 15% have battle axes. I had all that memorized, but now I don't.
I don't want to know anyway. I mean, and only Garl sees the dragon right now, so.
It's all just really eerie.
And it's been raining here all bloody fucking day. All day. I woke up and it's raining. It's still fucking raining. It's cold. It's rainy. It's miserable.
That's been our weather for about the last 2 weeks.
Aye.
It's been actually really nice here, except today or last night it snowed like I said, good 4 to 6 inches.
But as Garl sees the dragon, he's gonna point and say, "Dragon!" And then he's gonna dive behind a boulder and hide.
Everybody.
Oh, there's Garl shouting rock troll, dragon, fucking all this stuff.
Is it rock troll or dragon? Because that's gonna really affect what I do now.
No, I'm just saying, that's just Garl always shouting something, right?
Yeah, and Garl, and let me see here, Garl's stealth here.
Boy who cries wolf. What's the moral of the story?
Well,
never tell the same lie twice.
That's right.
Wow.
The 3 times. That was Deep Space Nine, Garrett.
Garl's clear.
Ding, 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 ding. You get a nerd point, Michael.
Yeah.
Garl's clearly upset about something, so I get my shield out. I kind of look around.
Okay.
Garl's stealth is 18.
Okay.
Keep moving forward, I guess, because I have no idea where Garl went, but we gotta keep on.
You guys can hear the snap woof of similar to like air filling sails. And with a surprisingly light landing, just some crunching in the gravel, drops down from the air a large metallic dragon.
Metallic.
And it lands, and you can see that it's almost appears to smile, like the way some dogs can with the tilt of its head as its head rotates on its spine.
Can I walk right up to it, like nose to nose, like real close, with Sirius, my sword drawn, and then as soon as I get up there nose to nose, I want to burst into laughing and just fall down.
It just lifts its head back and chuckles itself.
Is this you? Is this is this you that's doing this?
It would be if you can stand Garl next to it, but Garl's too busy hiding and being quiet.
It says something in a language that only those who speak Draconic will understand.
Do I speak
Oh, dear.
Draconic?
Those who speak Draconic says, "Good thing I looked twice. I thought you might be more goblins."
Pretty sure I
blinks.
don't speak Draconic.
I don't.
Does anyone?
Yeah, Garl does.
Oh, there you go. That's what you hear, Garl. That's what it says.
do
But to the rest of you, it just sounds like you guys can tell it's Draconic. A lot of the sounds are familiar, you know, especially to anyone.
Do you speak common, friend?
It says, with a little bit of a sigh, yes.
I apologize if it would make you more comfortable. I have the tongue spell prepared.
Oh, save it. It does. As I said, good thing I looked twice. I thought you were goblins at first. But I thought I better take a better look.
Have you seen many goblins in these past few days?
Mm-hmm. He dips his little chin, because he's large. He's, you know, size of a, you know, whatever. The 8 to 16 feet, right? Technically. Like a big horse with wings and a tail and a long neck. Glistening metallic scales. Well, not glistening. They're actually kind of brownish with a hint of green, maybe? Hint of red, perhaps?
Yeah.
He says, "Are you looking for more goblins? Do you know these goblins? Are they your friends, these goblins?"
No, not really. Aside from this one, I point to our goblin friend who we brought him with us, right?
His name is Galbo.
Gobbo.
The dragon kind of squints his eyes and he says, "Are you friends with the goblins?"
Just
Not
no.
all of them.
Well,
No, there. For every 1,000 rotten eggs, there's one good egg.
we are accompanying their king over there, hiding behind that rock.
I'm like ratting me out. Throw me under the dragon. With that, Garl will speak up in Draconic. That, yes, I am the Goblin King. I'm here to save my subjects from brutal abuse.
From the giants?
Perhaps we should introduce ourselves there, Drago.
Please do.
Yeah, I am Nicodemus, and together we are the heroes of Bryn Chandra. This is here Garl, King of the Goblins, among other things. He has many titles, but we defenders of Bryn Chandra from the Frost Giants. I personally myself have slain the Frost Giant Queen Truthy. Perhaps you've heard of this thing. Then later on in our journeys, we've saved Fireshear from Frost Giants invasion. We've drove off a band of fire giants along with their ogre and goblin and bugbear allies from Azatharl Keep, and then we cleared the road from Waterdeep to Golden Fields that was being besieged by some giant issue. And while at Golden Fields, we saved them from a ravaging, marauding band of giants with bugbears and some ogres and some goblin mixtures and slay them all and turn them in and have the utmost confidence of both Solaria, the silvery something or other, the open lord of Waterdeep, who
Lae'zel Silverhand,
sent
yep.
us on
Silverhand.
diplomatic missions to deal with cloud giants that were hanging over that area, along with this other Zephram, the cloud giant, who is a good friend and ally of ours, who we saved from being assaulted by a group of dwarves and a silver dragon. So excuse me if I see you with a little wariness, since I've seen other dragons assault giants. Now you surely, as a long-lived, gracious individual, should know that not all dragons are bad, even though some of you are, and give some of you a bad name, just like some goblins are bad, but this one is not. And the king here of goblins is trying to lead his people from a way of degradation that has been put upon them by such vicious overlords as ogres and giants and such, to lead them into a promised land of working and agriculture and Christianity and everything that the settlers said about the Indians back in the day.
What Indians?
You've lost the entire group with that.
I'm sorry. I'm
I know
tutoring
where-
the guy on it.
I know
What he said.
I know what he was saying, but
I'm tutoring this guy in a master's level Indian removal class, and so this stuff is just going through my head all the time. I can't help but think. Yeah. Did you know that for all the bad publicity that the the southeastern United States gets for being racism and bad towards, everybody pretty much, and how California is known as so noble and liberal and everything, that actually the treatment of Indians by California was probably the worst. It was actually complete genocidal. They went from 150,000 Indians in California at the time of America taking over to like 10,000 by 1873. So in like 25 years, fucking almost every Indian was killed in California by Americans. And you can't say, oh, smallpox is a disease, because the Spanish had been there for a few hundred years.
No. The Spanish were really ruthless. Then just the fact that the West was so frontier, right? I mean,
they were. Don't get me wrong. The Spanish don't get off on this. I'm just saying that when the Americans got there.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying, though. But when the Americans got there, it was still such a frontier, right? Like there was such a divide from think of it. You can think of it as like, the East was civilization and West was not. So,
yeah.
I mean, you could just go shoot them, right?
It became a state in 1850.
Yeah.
So there was similar population growth and statehood going, and we're not talking about territory. They were a state in 1850. Most of this occurred while California was a state, so they were organized and civilized at least enough to become a state. Yet California, by far, the worst part of America for Indians.
For sure. But the only reason that the West is considered like West now is because of like beaches and like Hollywood, pretty much. So it brought in like all the artistic hippie community, right?
Yeah.
Sure.
But that's what I would say.
Yeah, they were the worst. They were the worst. Horrible people, Californians.
Oh yeah.
At least 150 years ago.
But I mean, it's California, right? Like, I mean, California. It became California because of like fucking gold, right?
Yeah.
It was a greed-driven economy.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, where were we in the game?
Sorry for that.
And it was so far away from like the capital.
Dragon.
I gave my long introductory spiel to the dragon. The whole time my cloak was fluttering, whether there was a breeze or not.
Oh yeah. While the dragon is listening polite to your conversation, you can tell that he is truly and sincerely delighted by your fluttering cloak.
Mm-hmm.
He is. He thinks, he likes that. He likes that. He says, these creatures. Weeks ago. They had passed through. Many of them were harried and slain. They came through again the other night. And these hills, like, I'm not the only dragon that lives here. There's more dragons. And wiser dragons than I. So let's put it this way. Many of them died coming through. And once they did their attack and returned through, yeah. Like there's probably not many left. They won't make it out of the Forlorn Hills alive. They won't. And now, does that make sense, anyone, about the sprinkles of the table and the goblin doing his flying overhead and then wiping out the droplets?
Makes sense, yes.
One might say.
Yeah. He says, this bunch, the two that led them, got them so lost that, like, they've been literally, it's been like 2 weeks that they've been stumbling around. They had a much, much, much larger force when they came through. And now, he says, 4 giants and a few ogres. He's like, there might be some goblins scattered about. He says, it's getting a little tiring chasing them down, but he says, so that's what I thought you were. Just some goblins, I thought. But no, you're far more interesting than that. He says, any giants who are stupid enough to enter here, I'm sure we'll meet their match. And he says, but what do you all seek? And he tilts his head. And his head and neck almost form a question mark, which looks really funny to you all.
Garl will say, I seek to free my subjects that have been enslaved wrongfully.
More? They've captured Snerverblin?
No. My subjects, the goblins.
Goblins?
Yes, my greenness and I have made an alliance. She loves my mighty physique with my bow.
A bargaining with goblins? Strange enough that you let one follow you around, but to actually make deals with them? Can you even do that? Will they even accept that?
My greenness did. She loves me.
We can vouch for that.
That's unique. I've never heard of such a silly thing.
Well, that's the thing about adventurers. They'll always surprise you eventually.
I am a surprise.
Girl's getting ready to jump behind a boulder. Hearing that.
And it blinks one eye, and then the other, separately.
Oh dear.
So, I have character. What do we want to do here? I don't know. I'm kind of at a loss here. It seems like this dragon is kind of taking care of our problem for us.
Pretty much, and as far as from what we know, the giants and the goblins came from beyond here.
No.
It sounds like they
Beyond.
came from beyond here, got led into the hills by the two stupid ones, got most of their forces pegged down by dragons.
I
Right?
say we enlist the guy's aid.
I think we should. Yeah.
They eventually made their way to Golden Fields, did that, and when they retreated back into the hills again, they just kind of got pegged off. Because really, it wouldn't take that much. Really wouldn't. Especially dexterity saving throws against like giants and ogres, right? Like it just wouldn't take a couple of fucking breath weapons, and really that's it. Wouldn't take much.
So.
And they got Harry, but yeah, it sounds like they came from, and it was because of the two stupid ones that the majority of them got like pegged off. They just got so lost in the hills that he says that the bugbears eventually took over and got them back on track. And those two were probably part of the original force previously. Right, on the first attack. The dragon is smart enough. He can observe. He's seen things. He knows.
We've also heard there are stone giants in this area as well, right?
He says, I don't know about that, but on my flyabouts, he says, my secret, and he says really quietly, he says, north. I've seen a single frost giant wandering about.
Really? That's unusual this far south, isn't it?
He says, he nods, and he says,
Don't have a queen anymore, dude.
he nods, and he says, and this one, wears plate mail.
Let's go get him.
With a magical axe. I'm pretty sure it's magical. And he wears a dragon skull on his head.
That guy sounds fucking cool as shit. Let's go get his autograph.
And he says, at least I think it's a white dragon. I don't think it's a copper dragon. It would make sense that it's a white
Are
dragon.
you a copper? What color are you? Or what?
Yeah,
It is a copper. It is a copper dragon. I was gonna get you guys to roll, but he kind of spilled the beans. You could infer that he's copper dragon.
You said he's to the north?
So
he nods. He says out of the barren hills, but north. He says,
could you lead us there or take us there, and together,
help us?
Teaming together, we could take him out, and we could all share in this glory forever, and you shall enter the tales sung by the great bard Silence here.
Oh,
from town to town, your name, we'll come up with a good name for that frost giant with the dragon skull.
I think his name is like Vexarolathrax or something. You could call him Vex. Or Vex.
I think Vexarolathrax would, be awesome in the song, though, just to make him seem more important.
Really? And he sits back and clasps his front talons together. I could be in your song?
Oh, yeah.
How does it go?
if you help us kill it, then you're in the song because you'd be in the song of the killing of the great, evil, powerful frost giant Vesorax.
How does it go?
I'm assuming if he's got that, he's probably some sort of chieftain or some cool person.
He says, He says, I'm too young to leave my lair for long. I could guide you there, but I can't go with you. I'm not leaving my lair. He just shakes his head like, no, he's not leaving. I won't leave my lair.
Where's your lair?
Is there anything to ask?
I don't see why you need to know.
Seriously, girl, that was rude.
We always like to come visiting for tea.
Oh, if you come anywhere near here, I would know you're here.
Oh, okay. So as long as we make it back to here again, we could have tea with you.
Hey.
Yes, and then I can hear your song. Can I hear it? Part of it now? Do you have it? You have the
no,
song written?
We haven't killed him yet. We have to kill him yet for the come up with.
How do you think the song would go?
Oh well, the people who came down killed all the giants with the help of the great dragon. What's your name?
That's a start, but I think it needs a bit more
Vexarothus or something? I
pizzazz, a
can't
bit more
remember. Vex.
rhythm.
Oh, the dragon's name is Vexarothus.
Yeah. No. Yeah, the dragon. Yeah. He says his name is Vex.
All right.
Or it says its name is Vex.
Vexarothus, the dragon stood no hope. I mean, the giant stood no hope.
Silence. Stands of silence.
Yes, I thought the singing was my job.
It is.
Continue. And if you start to sing, I'll play the
But if you help us, then you could have an entire verse dedicated to you.
Well, perhaps more than one verse.
Yeah, very, very possible. And
let me hear how you think it would go. And like you're gonna have to perform something for him. He's just beginning to tremble.
I mean, I'm happy help Silent for the performance check.
Yeah, I'll need that.
Garl will say, he's so worked on up. Sing him the tale that you sing of us, free him Brashander, to give him an idea.
Yeah, I'll take the help action, give Cyrus advantage
Okay.
on performance.
Gonna need to roll for that. Yep.
Add a D4 as I touch you and say a little prayer over you.
Guidance.
And if anyone's gonna perform with you, you can roll with advantage, which means
Yeah,
I'm twice. Choose the highest.
That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing. I'm performing with her.
So Silence, you roll.
Okay.
Roll die 20
Hang on a
twice.
Die 20 twice, but I need to add my bonuses. So
Yeah,
plus 4,
and the D4
3,
because
proficiency
the
bonus.
Here's
Charisma
guided
plus
you.
proficiency.
What? Just plus proficiency, not plus charisma?
I said charisma
Yeah,
plus
charisma and
proficiency.
proficiency,
Yeah.
and add a D4 as well.
Yeah.
Add a D4. Okay. Okay. My best one is 27. Hello.
Oh, by the way,
Yeah.
I've cast light. I've cast light by this point because we would go up better. We would go up better doing this where it's got light.
Yep.
You are obligated to spend half the night entertaining this copper dragon.
Okay.
So much for the assassination mission.
We still can. It's just delayed.
Takes you. You guys after you play the first song, he's like, let's go to some place like a little bit more comfortable rather than just here. When you guys are making your way through the night, like you guys only go like at most a mile. At most. So whatever, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, right? you guys travel to a nice area where there's some water and shelter. When you guys are traveling to this area, though, you pass an area where the rough stone and gravel, there's an area where there's a patch about like 30 feet around that's like quite smooth with just what appears to be like, you can't tell it is at first in the darkness, but as you get closer and you walk past, you can see it's like a foot of a giant just sticking out of the ground. Just like from like mid between the knee and the ankle.
Living foot? Is it attached to anything?
It looks like it is, but it's clearly dead.
Is this your handiwork?
The dragon nods and is like,
good job.
yeah. And you can tell like the ground is like smooth, as if it was like turned to mud, and has now like solidified with something in it. Right.
Trick.
So you get to this nice area. Like I said, there's cliffs. There is enough shrubbery and stuff like that to like at least give it some, not to look so bleak. There's a fresh spring and shelter from the wind, and the acoustics are really nice. And you guys are gonna have to entertain this dragon most of the night. He enjoys pleasures. So if you want to share with him ale or stories or whatever, he's more than happy to do that. For the favor to show you where he last saw the frost giant.
Now, Garl will look around and see if he sees like a cave entrance around that area.
No.
Okay. He was thinking, maybe we got as close to his lair, so because he brought back.
He's not that young. No, he didn't take you to his lair. He just took you to a place that he thought humanoids might think are comfortable.
Yeah. So we performed for half the night.
Yep, and he loves it. And so, what's the time here in the real world?
For me, it's late.
Almost 7.
Okay.
It's
So-
10 to 12 for me.
Let's wrap. So here, the next day. Now, like I said, since you guys are basically only about 10 miles in, 10 miles away from Golden Fields, you guys could go back to Golden Fields to get whatever you want and meet him and whatever. But he will.
We don't need to get anything. We need to. What we need to get is a fucking frost giant head.
Yeah. Okay.
And a dragon skull.
He takes you guys north.
All right.
Leads you guys north
okay.
to the edge of the barren hills, and you can
I'm
see
catching
where,
death word of myself at the start of the day.
and you guys could see that like how the rocky terrain finally, as you guys go north, does smooth out into more like wind blasted steppes. There is a strong wind coming from the northeast.
Uh-oh.
And it's kind of barrenish. But you do see like the Forlord Hills are just to the south of you, like just a few hundreds of yards or whatever. And you guys are there. The dragon is just says I was just flying out and about, as I will to do. And
after we did that performance for him, did she agree to help us, like with the fight?
No,
Oh,
No.
okay.
Can't leave his lair. He'll direct us though.
And like I said, like this is like
Not going
the
to be
next day, like
installed.
you guys travel. I mean, like you guys travel, like all fucking day, right? Like it's like just about dusk, right? Like you guys travel out of the Forlorn Hills are a big area, and he takes you to the northern edge, where there's like usually like and he says, north out there, I saw I saw that giant, and he says, but that's it. So you guys could camp. You guys could travel north. When about middle of the next morning, Garl will start next time. You guys will be fully rested, and it's middle morning. And Garl, you've come across a camp area. Like you kind of are like, I think I smell old smoke on the air. Like, and you go and you find a camp area, except that the fire pit is like 10 feet across, and you could see where like a big, like 20-foot long body had laid down the night before. You could see where the impression is still left in like the peat and muskeg of the
Okay.
ground. You can still see where a big body had laid down to camp the night before.
Garl will go over to the campfire.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to put his hand over the coals or the ashes to see how warm it is.
Yeah, you're pretty sure it's yesterday. Like just like the night.
Okay, but
And
he's
it's like middle morning, so you guys are like, yo, whatever.
he's
So
going
that's
to
where we'll take over next time.
yeah, and he's just going to go over the usual steps that someone tracking and finding a fire to try to get an estimate of how long ago.
Yeah. So that's like I said, you guys. He took you to like the edge of the Forlorn Hills, and you guys pretty much camped. And this was like sometime the next morning, so you guys were like about 6 miles north of the Forlorn Hills, kind of, is where you guys spot sign of the camp of something big. Yeah, looks like yeah. You would infer whatever you will from that,
Yes.
and that's it. We're done.
All right.
Yay.
Well,
Ooh.
oh, we found where they are, or were anyways.
This is probably the frost giant, but still.
Probably.
Yeah.
Well, it looks like a camp of a single big thing.
I mean, even though frost giants are worse than hill giants, one even uber frost giant will be easier than invading a stronghold.
Not for our mighty troop of giant killers, of goblin saviors.
But we're not getting a goblin army, unfortunately.
Shame. Well, I'd love to keep talking, but I'm afraid it is getting late for me.
Yeah.
Yep. Bye, Kath.
So I have to leave.
Bye-bye.
So, bye.
Bye, Kath.
See you next
Peace.
time.
Yep, you guys
Bye.
all stay good and healthy and
Yeah.
I'm
See
getting
you guys.
shouted at too.
Bye.
But
Bye-bye.
bye-bye.
hold on, give me a quick